Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this very special edition of MNW Firing Line, your guide to Multiverse Nexus Wrestling. I'm your host, Dr. Caliban, and with me, as always, is my partner in crime, Storytellers Apprentice. Are you? I'm going to try your mic again. I didn't hear you.
Yeah. No, I had my mic muted. I forgot to unmute it.
Oh,
Hello.
okay. Hello. Oh, hey, yeah, I know some of you are probably noticing we introduced ourselves as Caliban and Storyteller and not Jerry and Pete. Jerry and Pete have the night off. Well, here, let me put this a different way. Let me put this a different way. So normally when we get into the show and we've started this way, we go into this lovely slideshow we have of the MNW characters, and we do some talk about the wrestling business, then we talk about the week shows. This is not that night because we are coming off of Multivania, an amazing night that had 16 hours worth of content. So we're doing something different. We're doing a community celebration, and to that end, hi guys. It's us. We're on the camera.
Yep.
Doing the thing as us. So we're wearing our streaming finest.
Sure.
So, and what tonight is going to be, we did this last year and right after Multivania, because with so much that happens, there is no way humanly, but I'm still working on editing.
Yep, same.
And we needed an extra week. Fortunately, our good friend Edward Bosco said, "Yeah, I'll just do dark shows this week. I'll make it easy on
Thank you, Ed."
Yeah, Ed will be. I don't know if he's home yet. Ed will be joining us at some point tonight. He's already confirmed. We're just not sure when he'll get here. When he gets here, and at that point, we'll absolutely do a Q&A. But the other thing I'm saying right now is we're going to do a community celebration. And what that meant last year and what that means this year is the phone lines are open. If you're on the MNW Discord and you were part of the Multivania weekend, you're welcome to join the Discord. Now, we will bring people in what you're using our discretion on when we'll bring people in, when we'll rotate people out, because as people show up, we want to give everyone a chance to come on and talk about the experience. And what we're talking about, we're going to be talking about, of course, the Multivania experience, what it was like being part of Multivania this year. But we'll also be going over just sort of the last year in MNW and maybe even beyond. It's going to really be an open forum. So I also thank you to Tiki the Troll for the 4-month resub. 1/3 of a year and I still live. Haha, hello. Yes, hello Tiki. Yeah, you've had, your story this year has been interesting, Tiki, to say the least. Yep. So, people just go ahead and line up. Now we're going to give people a chance to get in before we bring people in. I've got a couple people I've already talked to who will come in, and as people come, we'll just do the thing. And like I said, at some point, some of the people who helped put the weekend together will be here. And yeah, we're going to have a good time. So before we bring people in, Tim, let's talk about, what do you want to start with? What this last year for MNW has been like for you and I, or do you want to just get straight into what Multivania was like for us?
Well, yeah, I mean, the simplest answer is busy. Very busy.
Mm-hmm.
Because the biggest change for us was the inclusion of the first Multivania pre-show. So that was the first time of us trying that. I actually think it turned out pretty well.
I think it did. Well, and that really talks about one of the things that expanded in MNW this year, which was the YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
So the YouTube channel that we have been working so hard to make sure. And so, YouTube channel, first out, big shout out to Off Key Lime, who hopefully will show up at some point tonight, who actually runs the channel. He set it up and he got everything set up so that we could do it. And he is still the person that publishes all the videos. Now, Tim and I,
we do the editing, but he makes the final look over, once over, before anything goes live.
And also, he's the person that coordinates any special events we have on the channel, like the workshops we've done, the other live streaming, and the kickoff shows. So yeah, big shout out to him. Thanks. He's done a lot of hard work behind the scenes to make that work. But yeah, for Tim and I, that did add a bit to our workload because not only do we now edit clips for Firing Line, but because we already have the videos, we're also responsible for the editing of and preparation of the videos that go up on the YouTube channel. Which right now, let's call it the three main shows. That is Flashbang, Warzone, and then Firing Line all go up on the YouTube channel, and we try and have them up within 24 hours.
24 hours-ish, because, of course, we're required at a minimum of 24 hours, because that's the agreement with Twitch that, if you're going to put it on YouTube, wait 24 hours. So we have to wait at least that, and we usually try to get it up fairly soon after.
Mm-hmm. But I think part of it is with this year for Tim and I, we've been experimenting with what we can do outside of the main shows for the community and to expand on the idea of MNW to make it feel like a really robust living universe. And to that end, we did the kickoff show. Firing Line itself is something you would see in a lot of wrestling shows. I'm surprised they don't have something quite like it yet for AEW, but I bet it's coming.
Well, and one of the original, because this all started with the concept that just the simple idea that WrestleMania, anybody that has been to a WrestleMania will tell you that sometimes the WrestleMania isn't even the big thing to go for. There are so many micro events and little things just in the name of wrestling that go on around WrestleMania that weekend. And so the idea was, why don't we do that? That's something we could try and do. And it gave us a chance to showcase other events. And
yeah. Well, and even that, I mean, this also is very similar to when we did the Nexus, which is now going to be a thing. And I think we've pretty much agreed it's going to be a permanent thing. It's what can we do to expand MNW so that it's a living, breathing entity, and then with also the thought of what can we do that can be a jump-off point for stories. Yeah. So that's what we've been doing here, and it's definitely a labor of love. We do it because we enjoy it, and
absolutely.
It does take a bit of work. I mean, we have to have some lead time. We have plenty of prep work we have to do. But in the end, it's very much worth it. And, the appreciation from the community is we're glad that people enjoy it. Let's put it that way. I mean, we
Absolutely.
do, like anything with streaming, we do it because in the end, we enjoy it.
Yeah.
But the fact that other people enjoy it as well makes it all great.
It helps.
It certainly does. So that's where we are. And expect more of the same. Now, with that said, looking forward, how do I say this without giving away too much? Tim and I are planning things for the future of Firing Line.
Just assume we're always planning.
Just assume we're always planning things. Let's just say
project manager, producer.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
We that's what we do in life. And thank you, Twitch the Person, for the tier 1 sub. Well, it's actually thank you to Lasume the Robot for gifting Twitch the Person with the tier 1 sub. Let me get that straight. Won't say what, other than we're trying to find ways to make Pete and Jerry more robust as characters.
Sure.
Yeah,
robust. I like that word.
That's what we're sticking with. That's our word, robust.
Robust.
And with hey, you know what? I'm going to bring in the first person. This is somebody who has been really avowed as really enjoying Firing Line. We've had him on a lot. So, and it's the person everyone's been waiting for. Let's be honest. We know our place. Ladies and gentlemen.
The man, the myth, the legend.
It's Edward Bosco, showrunner for Friday Night Flashbang and the person that we do most of our work with.
That is not even... Don't hype me up like that. I was so lazy this year.
Yeah, okay, yeah, fine, whatever. You know what? One of these days, I don't know how, I will find a way to make you actually accept praise. Now, I understand that's an uphill battle, and
it is.
It might involve years of therapy. I don't know. But
you don't have enough degrees to help me.
I really don't. Although
you're a doctor, you're not that kind of doctor.
Although I will be honest, Mrs. Caliban is currently working on her graduate degree for counseling.
Oh, nice.
So
very nice.
Which
I would rather she fix my car.
I know, but you know, she hurt her elbow. She can't twist a wrench anymore.
That's fine. There's power tools for that.
That's true. That's true. I mean, she's still somebody you can talk cars with.
She just has to yell at me about what to do. I'll turn the wrench. She tells me where to put it.
That's fair. She would be happy to do that. Anyway, so Bosco, let's before we get into some of the other stuff, let's kind of expand on what we were just talking about, what we've been doing. I mean, we were talking about what Tim and I have been doing to try and use our little corner of MNW to expand on things for people and to create a more involving experience. What are you really happy about that we as a group have accomplished this year?
The fact that we got it done. There was so many reasons to pack it in and not do it or push it back or do it a week later or whatever the case may be. And we got it done. Mm-hmm. Not only did we get it done, but we got it done with a pre-show. 2 different pre-shows that you, Off-Key, Tim, and Zako all took care of. And it for the most part, it went off without a hitch.
Yeah.
Like there were a couple of things that, you know, we missed because it happens when you're doing 11 hours of wrestling content. But we got it done. And that's what I'm most proud of is the fact that we had a good show that everybody was entertained with. We still pulled off some things that we've never seen before, like War Games, which wasn't as good as it could have been, but it was better than it should have been. And the dance contest, which I don't know if people were expecting me to do it that way, but I thought it was a great way to do it.
I was like, I don't know how he's going to pull it off. And then once it was going, it's like, oh, yeah, this works.
A lot of people guess, like, oh, he's going to be doing taunts in the ring. And I'm like, nah, man, everybody knows about the shitty X-Men power. This is just the best way to do it. So what we did is we went through and we found the dancing stuff, and I would throw out songs. And when they lined up, we picked them.
Fair enough. Well,
I love how it just kind of lined up where, like, people all of a sudden went, you know what? Yeah,
that's the one.
It took, like, a minute for people to go, oh, crap, it's Bosco's X-Men power.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone was into it. What about beyond WrestleMania? What else are you really happy about that was accomplished this year in MNW?
Oh, beyond Multivania, you mean?
Yeah, just overall.
Like a match, or are we just talking about like I'm really proud of the YouTube channel.
All right.
I'm glad that we finally got a YouTube channel because like that, it's segue from what you were just talking about. But I'm really glad that we have a YouTube channel because I feel like it will bring people in that maybe we wouldn't have otherwise gotten to show. And plus, it creates an archive. So people are like, hey, I never saw so-and-so. Or, hey, who won the thing? And wait, what was the result? You can go back and watch it.
Yeah. It's I think we've started seeing that. I see some comments of people like, I don't know what this is, but it looks cool. I need to check it out. We currently sit, as of WrestleMania, we jumped up to 276 subscribers, by the way.
Oh, hell yeah.
Multivania. We all make that mistake.
Been a long week.
Yeah. So I'm pretty happy with that too. I mean, as one of the people that helps put together, I'll tell you though, the one thing that outside of all of this, I really enjoyed doing the Nexus last year.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. That wasn't this year though.
No, was it? Well, I'm counting.
It was how do we count it?
I'm counting the MNW year as Multivania to Multivania.
Fair enough. All right, then yeah, that counts. Then yes, that is also really cool that we pulled that off.
Which, oddly enough, is also the Microsoft fiscal year. So, oddly. So, and so in the last year, I think we really did sort of establish last year that Multivania is now the big yearly milestone. Plus, we also determined it's the anniversary of Flashbang because Flashbang started right after the Multivania of that year. So, Flashbang is 2 years old as of right now. And yeah, there was just I think we did a lot. Also, I think this year we really saw the community, and this is the thing I'll touch on for beyond what we've directly worked on. But this year we had the community really step up in the interaction, particularly for the voiced promos. And that brought it together in a whole new way, because suddenly it's not just dependent on the showrunners to put characters in the middle of the ring and then do something with them, but to have the people behind the character step up and bring them to life.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you've said many times how happy you are that that's happened. And I know part of it is it makes your life easier, but
it sure does.
So what, I guess, trying to expand on that thought, or more to get your thoughts on that thought. So voice promos have worked.
They have.
What would you, and we're beginning to see people really push the idea. We've had people do songs. Somebody we'll be talking to later tonight, Beowulf, went so far as to actually film something.
Did a live one, and I put it up there. People were stunned. They're like, "Wait, we could do what?" But he did that of his own volition. He was like, "What if I just did this? Is that okay?" And I'm like, "Hey, if you're not camera shy and it's appropriate, I'll throw it up there."
Yeah, and we ended up using on the pre-show. It was like great material.
It was good. It was very good. I feel bad because I was supposed to use the alt attire and it was supposed to be played before the match, but I made it work. That was one of those errors that I'm not happy with, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but and I'm thinking of like Gorewheel and Revenant and their various song parodies, or actually the person that impressed me recently, Uncle Dunk.
Mm-hmm.
With some of the stuff he's been doing and his song into Multivania, and which I know was a huge, stretch for him, but he pulled off, I think, with a great style. And also just the community we have of people working on their voice acting skills and so stepping forward to, you don't want to voice your own character. Well, we got a team of people who are willing to be there for you. Also, thank you to Clone Trooper Kev for the 5 tier 1 subs to the community. And yeah, so that's yeah.
Good times.
Anything else you want to expand on before we start looking at maybe bringing some folks in?
Oh boy.
I mean,
questions? Do people have questions? I know that's why I'm here, is just to answer questions. Because now that the curtain's been peeled back, and stories have come to a close, I can talk about them.
It's good. Actually, folks, before we bring people in, if you want to ask questions, just go ahead and put them in the chat. We're keeping an eye on it, and we'll curate them. Twitch.
I mean, I saw a question from Kev saying, "Are you surprised at how big MNW has gotten?"
No. It's fucking amazing when it's good.
I mean, I didn't, obviously from coming in from Taka playing the campaign mode, I didn't think we'd end up at this point, no. But obviously as the show's progressed on, I've definitely been more confident in the future of the community.
Yeah, it's been an interesting, because it was beginning, I think the real bursting forth of MNW probably happened around the time I was joining. I've said before, the first night of MNW I ever watched was the pay-per-view that had the culmination of the Wish Upon a Brawl tournament. And then I went back and watched whatever was on VOD previous to catch up, and was hooked. So I came in right before the Inquisition.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about the time when the slots were beginning to, where it was like, we're going to have to be more careful about who we bring in because slots are filling up. And then, of course, Flashbang happened, and that opened that floodgate. I mean, the fact that it got big enough that 2 shows were required. Yeah, I don't. It's unfortunately Kurt isn't. Kurt's out of town right now, so
is he?
Yeah, he's at the cabin.
Yep. Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, he. Otherwise, we would have tried to have seen if we can get him on tonight. It'd be interesting to hear what his thoughts were on that growth when because as Tim said, MNW just started with Kurt looking for content and doing the campaign mode in 2K19, and then deciding to keep the story going.
Well, this was the substitute for the Waifu Wars, which was Valkyria Chronicles, and the game got so aggravating to him that he needed something else to do on his Thursdays, and he thought he'd do a playthrough of 2K19.
Nice.
And here we are. And
here we are.
With Pete Dunne was what was I going to say recently? I was going to do a joke. I'll still say it. I don't know if I'm going to actually do it. But at one point, I was going to say, yeah, the Brain in the Beast High World's going to turn out it was Pete Dunne.
Oh God! I mean, figure that out.
just as a that's a for those of you newer to MNW, that's an old, long-standing joke. And Twitch, you shut your mouth, Twitch. He's going third show when.
You joke, but be careful what you wish for, Twitch.
Yeah, there have been discussions.
I mean, if you want to find everybody to put it together, go for it.
I mean, Twitch, you already do.
We're busy. Shit.
Yeah, you have been NPW. We showed you on Multivania.
Yeah, dude. Do you want your viewership to be cut in half again? Come on, man. You don't want more competition.
I think though that does bring. I mean, one of the things you have to keep in mind, and this is something we always try and be cognizant, is there's only so many. I mean, after doing Multivania, I think it really brought home that you can do long form, but it has to be not all the time where people just burn out. So,
well, I mean, match fatigue is a legit thing.
Mm-hmm. This is why you generally don't see wrestling shows. I mean, I've heard people saying that Raw and SmackDown are too long at 3 hours. This is generally why you see AEW not go beyond 2 for much of anything.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so shall we start bringing some people in?
Sure.
Let's get to, and of course, people in the chat, if you want to go ahead and keep asking questions, we are paying attention, and with that, I had one because this person was asking me, is it okay if they come on? And since they were the first person to reach out to me, I'm gonna bring in Lady Boots.
Oh snap!
Because again, Boots was talking to me, and hello, Lady Boots.
Hello.
How are you?
What up, Boots?
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hey.
So I know that this has been quite the adventure for you. These last week, and fortunately we did get you in to Multivania. I mean, we got you. You were the big match of day one of the kickoff show.
I appreciate that so much.
So let's. I mean, how are you feeling? How are you feeling about things with your character, where things are going? How this last year's evolved for the lady?
As someone's been on the sidelines since day one, I was like the manager of Pro Naga and all them in the early days. And, Conquest Bloodline, I was always on the sidelines. Sure, I'd get a match here and there. I remember I used to fight actual female wrestlers, divas, and able to actually be seen. But, I actually got really excited seeing myself in thanks to the mod.
And now you're a #1 contender.
It's just, it feels nice. After 3 years, I get some spotlight.
Well, I mean, you deserve it, Lady Boots, because you've been here for so long and you've put in so much time, and there's been so many workarounds to get you a kid. Like Feel Good Inc. was a workaround. Like, you wanted to be a female wrestler, but because there were no females at the time, and once we went to an actual show, Feel Good Inc. was kind of like, well, this will hold you over. It's kind of like Slamfibian, where you can put a male in like a female-esque body, or Pang-Chi, and kind of make it work. And it's the best that we could do. And now we have like you and Kelly and Keth Gina and a bunch of Naja, like all these actual female characters that can fight. And the AI is not always the best, but like, I thought it was, I don't know if you saw your match on the pre-show, but you came back down 2-1 and it was great.
It was really good.
It was really good. Like the lady wrestlers are really good.
I was squealing actually.
Yeah. Good luck, Toxic Wastelanders. That's all I'm saying. But I think they like to be whipped, so I don't know if that's going to work. You might need a new tactic.
But yeah, you and Carnival, you may have to think of a sub faction.
Yeah, because they're just as weird as you guys, just different.
The embodiment of joke's on you. I'm into that.
Since you're cool if I share my, what I do on the side, right?
We're an adult. I literally made sure. I knew what I was getting into when I got into this. I made sure we had an adult tag on the stream. We're all adults here.
Well, ever since
at least technically
voicing and stuff, for those who don't know, I'm actually a semi-pro dominatrix, so I kind of self-inserted that into MNW.
But it fits so well with Conquest. Like I know that wasn't the initial idea. Like Conquest wasn't a thing, but you fit in so well with their aesthetic.
I remember I originally had this blue and black aesthetic, like a cop sort of deal.
Mm-hmm. That's just because you wanted to use handcuffs.
Stop. I'm going to keep saying ada ada, and it's going to get awkward.
Fair enough.
So,
yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to ask, what else did you want to, I mean, since you're here and, you got a little time before we have to bring in like the next person. And I know you and I have talked offline about what your hopes are for your character, what you're kind of hoping will happen going forward. And of course, after that match, you're going to at least have a title shot coming up at some point in the future. But what are you really hoping for with your character down the road? What do you feel the future looks like for Lady Boots, either with the Conquest bloodline or as a singles competitor?
Well, I'm hopeful. This is actually my first time in 3 years being part of MNW, and I don't want to apologize how I acted after I was defeated by Fear Strikes. It was not a fun time, and I kind of took it out on you guys, and you didn't deserve it. I really am glad to be part of this community. I made so many friends. I don't think I'd be actually streaming or doing voice work if it weren't for you guys and the community.
Well, we're glad to have you. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, it just all started because I got a bad day at college, and I basically splurged and got myself 2K19 because I wanted to mess with the character creator. And then I go streaming, and here I am.
There you go. So we're gonna and I'm gonna say this. Stick around. I mean, we're gonna end this segment right now so we can rotate some other people in. But stick around because, I mean, who knows what's going to be happening later on in the show.
I have one last question for Lady Boots.
I was going to ask, did you have anything else, Ed? So
this is my last question, and I kind of want to go out on it because it'll be interesting.
All right.
Since we have the mod now, Lady Boots, if you could fight anybody on the roster for either show, who would it be?
I mean, I already fought Kelly.
You did fight Kelly. That's what I'm saying, but it doesn't have to be limited to the ladies. Like, if you could fight anybody.
That's actually a good question.
Who do you want to kick the shit out of?
Wilson. I want to beat the shit out of him again.
There it is.
All right.
He did a really good promo.
He did. The fake feminist. I love it.
Yeah. Go ahead. It has a story.
Dude, that would be that's a pay-per-view match. I couldn't give that away on free TV.
Man, okay. Well,
Wilson versus Lady Boots. That Lady Boots would be the face for the first time in her career.
Actually feels nice.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
All right. Well,
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much, Lady Boots, and we'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So real quick, before we rotate anyone else in, thank you to Lasume for gifting the Tier 1 sub to our friend Off Key Lime. As we said, he does a lot of great work behind the scenes making that YouTube channel happen. And also thank you to Jay Frost for gifting the Tier 1 sub to Helix Sucks. And I see these subs going around, and each time something happens, it reminds me of these characters, what they've done, the ones that, and one of the things we try and do here on Firing Line is every once in a while remind people of the history of some of these guys, because you have people like Jay Frost, who's been around for about a year. He was part of the same grouping that brought in Maximilian Thunder Thighs and Absolute Washington. Then you got like Helix, who's been around since the dawn of time, and is part of the original crowd. And I'm trying to remember, because I know we discussed this in a firing line once ago, a while ago. But Tim, you're also one of the early guys. You're like from the earliest days.
Yeah, I was not one of the first wrestlers, but I was in the group that kind of migrated over from the
from the Lucha Underground days and the stuff like that. And I know, Ed, you told me that you came in because you were working with Kurt on Unexpectables. And it piqued your interest. I'm trying to remember, but I don't know if we got the timeline. You were definitely post Lucha Underground, right?
Multivania was my first event, I think.
Okay.
Because I fought Ozaki, so I think it was the second Multivania then.
All right.
And I tapped him out, and I tried to be a good guy, and nobody let me. And then 2 matches later, I was the world champion, because Kurt was RNG back then, and I stumbled onto a really good build.
Yeah, and you kept warning people about that build.
I did. Well, and that wasn't even that's not the build that I have now, where it would just destroy people.
Sure. Well, but you also...
and then Grizzly decided, well, I'm just going to break the game then. So I give Grizzly the credit for breaking the game in terms of making the unbeatable build, but in terms of submissions, I have that shit down. So when I build submission stuff, it works.
Fair enough.
That's why you see guys like OmniGeek and stuff actually use their grounded submissions. There's a lot that goes into that.
Well, I think that's
why Ozir's so bro. Ozir's basically built off the Bosco that like I don't use for that reason. He's got a couple of those things on him, which is why he's so brutal. So it's either you hit your finisher on him and hope that he's a glass cannon, but if he gets you in his move, it's fucking over.
Well, I remember watching that creation stream. Yeah. And I was going to say the other thing with that is, I would say that's what allowed you the knowledge to where we are now when you're working on characters. You're not so much to make them brutal, but just to make them work. I don't think people... I know you've talked about it in creation streams before, but the level of effort just to make sure the character works so they can tell their in-ring stories. Because I've seen you say it a lot of times. It's not about winning or losing. It's does your character function?
Correct. Does it like, for example, Mega Blitz or Daverman? They're a high flyer. Do they springboard? Do they go off the top rope a lot? Do they use like in the rope moves? Do they counter the right way? If they're doing all that, then it's just up to like momentum and who gets enough finishers off to keep somebody down in RNG. So as long as they're doing what you want 100%, that means that they're productive. Which is why when certain people are like, I need to tweak my build, I'm like, no, the fuck you don't.
Well, because like one example that I think is probably the most common is that you can have it set up where basically the AI won't know to use one of its own moves because it can't transition from one to the other.
Oh, yeah. I remember you redid my build set because I had 2 moves in there for SIGs, and you said this one's never going to proc.
Yeah.
So
I moved one to. You had 2 finishers, and I was like, I think I moved one to. So you still have 2 front-facing finishers. That's why you don't see the reverse choke slam very much. If I ever want you to use that, I flip them.
Right. Well, because I had some kind of like hammer strike, and you ended up replacing it with the earthquake splash.
Yeah, which I think works a lot better because it's very creation-y.
Yeah. Well, and then we just built it. Oh, it's the monster mash, and bam.
Yep.
But and that's example.
The graveyard smashes your finish. It's so easy. I remember. It's like Mad Jack with all of his trick or treat stuff. It's just easy to remember.
Sure. Well, and like I said, that's just an example of. It's not so much that it made him more capable of winning. It just made his character flow, and that's what's really important. So let's. Okay, who should we bring in? So looking at the people we have, I know who I'm thinking of bringing in, and everyone. We got a while, so we're gonna try and get everyone in. I've got my ideas, but Ed, anyone you're thinking we should bring in first?
Let's see. Let me take a look at the list.
Look who we got.
So, only because he's right here and I'm thinking of it, we have one of the people that fought Lady Boots. We could bring in Vin since it's a segue.
Sure, that works.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, he's had a lot of talking about somebody who's had a year.
Yeah.
Since last Multivania. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is Vin Smoke Sanjay, who has, as we said, it's been a crazy year for Vin, going from champion at last Multivania to where he is now. Hey, Vin.
Hello.
And Vin, we're out of character, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can just chill. It's a
We're
very chill stream.
We're very tired tonight. I wouldn't be on camera looking like this if I was trying to be Jerry.
Very true.
I'd have worn a suit.
No, understandable.
Anyway, how's it going?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I've been having crazy weekend as of late. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to actually watch Multivania when it was alive. I was actually with my family at the beach for 4th of July. I did watch the VOD though, and it was a great match. I was saddened by the ending, but that's the way Money in the Bank works. So if you're not going to use it for good or /evil, what are you going to use it for? In my opinion.
Yeah. On the other hand, and this is, I think, the thing we always try to sell. You're relevant as far as story goes. I don't see you getting buried anytime soon.
Yeah, it's hard to bury. Even the way you lost, like, that's not really burying you. It just pisses off Vin even more.
Oh yeah, that's like in character. If there's a word beyond infuriated, Vin's at that level right now.
I appreciate how cool you were with that, because I know it sucks to be like, I won 2 titles and I hold them for a combined week and a day.
Yeah.
So, but I think it makes sense. Like, I like the idea of Vin, and I could pull the curtain back on this. I like the idea of Vin being cursed, where he's never had more gold around his waist, but he's also never lost it quicker in his life because he's cursed. And that's what the whole thing is. Like, he thought this thing would give him power, and now he's kind of got some control over it, and he's getting everything he wants, just not the way he wants it. Won the world title, forced to defend it, immediately lost it because he got screwed. Unkley cashes in on him, and the Unkley cashing in on him made so much sense because you guys, Omega Club kicked the shit out of the Republic. Then the Hats beat up the Republic, and now Unkley, like 3 years later, is getting some semblance of revenge by screwing you over, even if it's not technically the same person because you've gone through so much. Like, all that history is there, and I love the idea of you both being cursed and not being able to hold on to a title, and Unkley being the one to take it away from you. And whether or not that becomes a feud or not, we'll see. There's a lot to talk about, but I loved that story, and hopefully people followed along with what was going on. Also, RNG did us a favor because Zako didn't record the match this way, but when we did that 8-man match, Unkley tapped out Probunaga and then, like, lost immediately, and like, I'm done, and then went to the showers only to come back at the end of the night and fuck you over. So it looked like, hey, I tapped out Probunaga. I don't give a shit about this hospital. You guys have fun. I'm going to go get ready for what I really want.
Exactly. Yeah, and when I think about this as well, it's like, yeah, Vin's like getting titles, but I think that's kind of second nature to what his true lingo is. Because, like you said, like basically what it's going forward here is he's on a quest for revenge. Like, the titles are basically much second nature to him. Anyway, and I think that would be more or less of the effect of, like, yeah, titles are good, but what I'm really after is everybody who is wronged me, basically.
Well, and Vin, I think the in the end, you don't hold a title, but you're a main eventer.
Exactly.
And that's the real thing, is that you're constantly in the conversation, you're story relevant, and you know we certainly haven't seen the last of you. In fact, we're probably going to see more of you because you have something to go for. This actually, and then I'll turn things back over to Tim or Ed. Kind of reminds me of, I remember an interview I read with Dwayne Johnson where he said he feels he does better without the title than with it, because without the title he has something to go for, and then with the title he's just like, and now I have the title and now I'm just defending it. So he was always his happiest story-wise when he was in pursuit of the gold than actually holding it. And I kind of get the feeling that's kind of where Vin is building to as a character. Yeah,
more so the fact, like I know that, like, the end all be all of this, like, this whole community is like, just basically have fun and have good matches, and I think that's what I'm starting to understand now at this point. Because, like, yeah, titles are good, but when you look at it, they're basically just leather and gold. That's it. the big end goal for me is like I wanted to be, at least in my opinion, I want to be one as known as one of the greatest wrestlers of it. At least in my point. So.
Well, and like it's one of those odd things that you don't necessarily think of with, like, say, Ric Flair and this, 16 time. It's actually more like 20 time, but
basically
that means he still has to lose 19 to get to that point. So
exactly.
It's like if you want to have that high number of 18 time champion, that does mean that you have to lose that many times -1. So
yeah.
And, there's nothing wrong with being the Steven Regal. I mean, everyone feels, he should have held the title. Yeah, he's still a living legend.
Exactly.
And yeah.
I was about to say, like, and that goes back to, like, Lord Steven Regal, or William Regal, as basically known, is, like, probably one of my more prominent, like, inspirations when it comes to a character, because not only because that he was able to be good in the ring in WCW, but he transferred over into more meaningful stuff being in the WWE. Like his whole stick with being a commissioner with Tajiri was partly my favorite of anything he's ever done. And like him, like he wrestles on occasion, but he doesn't, like, it's almost like he doesn't need to.
So, Vin, we're going to have to cycle some other people in. Any wrap up? Anything? Any last things you want to say before we see who comes in next?
Not entirely.
I have a question for him. I could set him out on a question.
I always figure you do.
I'm a journalist. I have to have fucking questions.
I know. That's why I got these wrap ups, and then Ed's going to ask a question.
Yeah.
Who does Vin want to take out more? Zocco, now that he has the belt, or Unkley for what he did? Who is he more pissed at?
Oh, man.
Or does he want to get his hands on Chaz and not even worry about a belt?
I think he would like to go after Chaz, because basically that whole thing of, like, it was more to the fact that it was such a prize. It was such a surprise for Vin that I think he would like to go after Chaz Lee. Like, that was basically, Chaz came out of nowhere and took the very thing that he held dear in that particular point.
All right. Cool. Well, thank you very much, Vin, and we'll talk to you later, buddy.
Absolutely. Okay. Talk to you all guys later.
All right. So I actually know who I want to bring in next. This is one of those things, if I look at who's up there, it's like, okay, I want to bring this guy next, and some other people should. Don't worry, everyone. We're going to try. We might, after this, start bringing you in groups. But before we do that, there's one person I absolutely want to bring in. And he's going to, even though he's here and he's got everything ready, he's going to absolutely hate me for it. But still, ladies and gentlemen, our good friend, Joe Mojo.
I was literally just typing in chat. I'm good. I'm just vibing in here.
I was going to say, a huge part of the Firing Line family. Hey, Joe.
How's it going?
I saw you up there. It's like, we'd be remiss if we didn't bring in Joe. Because, some great stuff this week, and also because, so much you've contributed to the community. So first off, buddy, how's it been going?
It's been going good. Just tired at all times.
Fair enough. What'd you think about your Multivania experience this year?
It was actually, you mean that the fact that I had a Multivania experience this year?
I mean, sure, we can go with that, or we can talk about what actually happened.
So I kept telling people I only wanted 3 things in the match: just someone getting bullied, someone getting thrown into the cage, and then Tiki at least fighting Raw King for most of the match. And I got all 3, so I'm happy.
Well, there you go. Ed, I know you're going to have something you want to ask him.
I mean, not so much ask him, but it was interesting because both you and Tiki thought that Tiki would be the last one. And I guess I'm curious, what did you think about being the last guy with everything on the line?
So I actually talked about this with a lot of people. Hey, Tiki. I talked about it with a lot of people because, I don't know, I felt like at first I felt like it was more fitting for Tiki to get it in, to get the final pin on him. And then people just, the more and more I talked to people, the more and more they convinced me that, the guy who was psychologically tortured for 9 months, that's the guy who should
think about it this way. Tiki had his comeback moment at Breakdown 6, and he screwed Earl King out of the belt, kind of, with you. But Tiki's had moments like that you can think of. Johan hasn't really had that like defining moment outside of Gorm, which was how many months, year ago?
2019,
Yeah, it's been a while. And in my mind, nobody had gone through more or tried to do more for Fate than you, including just giving yourself up to the Empire to try to help your friend. I love Sandman, but he had the big win last year with the
with the
I can't even speak.
Jack the Questionable.
Yes. He helped the creation with Thunderbolt. His music hit and all that stuff. And he's going to have moments down the road, but this just felt like this was Johan's time to shine. And if anybody was going to send Earl King packing, I couldn't think it was going to be you or Sandman. And when RNG knocked out Sandman in first, I'm like, it has to be Johan. So as long as one of you two made it to the end, I was happy. Because I felt like, and also I knew things were going to be hectic for you and things were getting busy. I wanted to make sure that if for some reason you're pulled away completely from MNW, you at least have this moment to go, Johan at Multivania, put Earl King on Warzone, and ended the Empire. And forever in the lore, that is on Johan's resume. And so that just, it felt right.
Yeah, and I do, my stuttering's going to drive me crazy one day. I do appreciate all of that. I mean, schedule's like not that crazy to where I can't catch the shows or anything, if that's what a worry is. But no, like I really do appreciate it. I was actually watching the dance off in my
no spoilers though, because Tiki hasn't seen it.
Oh, I could have sworn I sent him a DM just to send it. Anyway, no, I was watching the dance off at my in-laws' house, and like afterwards we were just like shooting off fireworks and whatnot.
Hell yeah!
So you're actually getting a shout out right now from the Sandman in the chat saying, if Johan doesn't get a heavyweight shot out of this, I will be upset.
I honestly, everybody on that Fate team deserves some kind of title shot after what the fuck they pulled off. I'm glad because it also lets everybody who's in the Empire, kind of like Simon and Cleaver and Lord V, like they want to stay a tag team, so that'll be fun seeing where they go. Simon's got his new group that he's going to do stuff with. Reaper maybe wants to start his own group and lead a faction, which it's cool to see everybody now with the freedom to kind of do stuff on their own.
Yep.
You're fine, Ziggy.
So, I almost called you Johan.
I respond to either at this point.
At least I got the advantage that Caliban's my actual nickname. So,
same for me with Pete.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say we should. We got a lot of people. We got a lot of people lining up now. So before we, but anything before we do another flip of the talkie people.
My main question was actually about how Honor Bound came to be, why. But that's probably going to be answered next week.
Because you know what, we'll get to them eventually. They're in the chat.
They are, and I will answer that. But the long story short of that is, all three of them were like, we kind of want to do this, and at the time I'm like, this doesn't make any fucking sense for what you guys are doing. Let me work on this. And so I slowly converged their stories. So DeLuna and Bulldog were easy to sync up. And then Simon came to me and was like, hey, I really want to do that NWO thing where Hogan's the third man. I'm like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. How do I got it. Supernatural bullshit. I got you. So I tried to do the best I could to get everybody happy.
Yeah, because Simon was like is kind of the wild card out of that entire trio.
Yeah.
Because
that was
Bulldog and
yeah.
I don't know why I'm trying to answer. Go ahead, Ed.
No, I was going to say, I just tried to make everybody happy. I would have never put those three together. Like, Bulldog and DeLuna make sense, but Shere Khan's back, and I was going to put Bulldog with Shere Khan because I knew I had talked to Armada in the background, and he was like, hey, I'm busy with stuff. And I was like, well, I want to bring you back at Multivania. And this was January, December. And he was like, yeah, I should be free in July. And then days before the show, he was like, hey, by the way, all my stuff is good, so just letting you know. And I had already been like, yeah, Shere Khan's coming back, and then showcase. So to answer Beowulf's question, no, that was not RNG. I'm sorry. I made sure that you lasted to the final three like your promo said. However, you were jobbing out to Shere Khan. I'm sorry. He's been gone for over a year.
Still one of the highlight of... I got a funny feeling when we're voting for Nexi moments, that might be in the nomination.
That might be on. There were a lot of big returns. There's also, man, there was so much stuff that could have happened that didn't because the game didn't want to work with us. It's infuriating.
This is the pull back the curtain night. We can maybe talk about some of that. But Joe, I'm going to go ahead and cycle you out. And but like I said, like I've been saying, everyone, but don't necessarily wander off.
Don't be a stranger.
Who knows what might happen later tonight? All right, thank you, buddy.
As long as I can.
Yeah.
All right. Good night.
Well, since we were talking about it, you wanna bring in the honor bound guys that are hanging out in the chat?
Sure,
I'm
it
gonna
was a
be
good
right back.
segue.
I'm
Since
gonna
we're
get
already-
myself a drink.
Yeah,
All right,
do it.
You do that. So hang on, let me get them both in here. I don't see
Okay.
Bulldog, but we've got DeLuna, we got Simon.
Yeah, whatever you do, don't bring in Simon. That's the
Oh,
one
I'm
thing
sorry,
about the
guys.
last.
You should have said something.
Yeah, why would happen? Oh shit!
Too late.
Dude, yeah, you gotta give me.
I'm slow. I'm slow in the
make-
uptake.
I know
it's
you're
fine.
tired.
I'll deal with it.
I know
As
you're
long as he doesn't know that I don't like him, it's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Hi, DeLuna.
Hey, how you doing there? So we got DeLuna, we got Simon, and okay, guys, what the hell?
There you go.
Oh, there's Dole.
Bloody there's Gertie for you.
All right, that's
Jack in the comments. Shirkan's back! Yay! Oh wait, Shirkan's back. No. Yeah, because guess who he's coming for?
okay. Before we get into you guys, I want to talk about just for a minute because there's been I have occasional behind the scenes conversations with a lot of guys in this community. I have for the longest time just appreciated Jack the Questionable because he knows exactly what his role in MNW is on Flashbang in the roster, and just leans so hard into it and is just so happy to do it. And even when we're talking shit about him on Firing Line or whatever about the in-character stuff, he rolls with it so perfectly. So I want to make sure he gets that shout out of just so you know, just because we talk this shit about your character, we appreciate you. And with that said, all right, guys, let's talk about this new faction. How did this start?
Well,
Go ahead, Simon. This is your baby.
The long story of it is back when during the DeLuna 12 Blackwell match, that whole event was actually the start of it. If you remember, Blackwell was kind of a dick, as he usually is. But this was also the first time that Simon actually saw somebody straight up disrespect somebody that was beaten. And it's not really been hinted, it's not really been said in character, but that's really not something he enjoys. One moment. Go on. She's getting antsy.
I own a German Shepherd. I understand. There's a reason my door is closed and my wife is playing with the dog. All right. Anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, so not many people might have caught it, but Simon actually offered DeLuna assistance. He said, hey, you want to kick his ass, we'll help you out. We don't really enjoy that kind of thing being done to other people. And at the time, DeLuna said, no, but I will keep that in mind. Fast forward trying to think of how far away, how long ago we started this plan. I think, what was it, 2 months, DeLuna? 3 months?
Hang on a second. DeLuna, is your microphone working? I haven't actually heard you speak yet.
I think it's broke.
Oh.
They disconnected their video and then couldn't talk.
He was having issues earlier. It might be back to
Their
it.
Discord has been really rough. Hartley Reaper was talking to me earlier about there's some problem with their phone connecting with this. I'm going to drop him out and drop him back in and see if that helps.
Yeah. He also was saying earlier that he was having router issues. So
Okay. Well, I mean, he's here in spirit.
yeah.
Keep
All right,
working on it, DeLuna.
So 2 months ago, you had a plan.
Yeah. I believe DeLuna actually approached me saying, "Hey, do you remember when you had Simon offer help?" What? And at the time, this was going to be a plan for a 2-man tag team. Bulldog wasn't actually involved. But yeah, DeLuna said, "Hey, would Simon still be up to getting helping DeLuna out with revenge?" And I just went, "Yeah." He hasn't forgotten that moment. And it's just constantly been case by case of more things like that happening. Okay, yeah, DeLuna says it was 3 months ago in the Twitch chat. So, but yeah, it's just been a case of people attacking defeated foes, people in getting involved in other people's business, and it's like, yeah, this is definitely would not be rubbing Simon the right way. This is everything he does not agree with. Yes, he's a savage fighter, but he's got a code of honor. So, and I did notice that people were saying in the chat, "Oh, Simon talking about honor. That's ironic." I can see that. I haven't been able to make the character out as much as I'd wanted, but Simon does have a code of honor, and somebody did catch up on it. If it's two people fighting, nobody else should be involved. Exactly. So we started that plan, and then Bulldog actually got involved. DeLuna wants you to try to drop him out and bring him in. Now. Okay. Yep. Sorry, I'm.
1001, 1002.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Hey,
there he is.
There, now your voice works.
Yes, it does.
I'll let you talk a little bit, DeLuna, so you can.
All right, so DeLuna, what's your side of this story?
Yeah, my side was this started from when I was just designing the alternate outfit that I used to break down 6, and I believe I showed Ed first, and then I showed Simon first, or after that, because we were talking about it, and we're like, yeah, that'd be fun to actually pay off the now going on 2-year thing of Simon offering him some help. And it just snowballed from there.
All right. Well, so it's going to be okay. I'm going to say this. It's going to be interesting to see because you have people coming from what right now has appeared to be two polar opposite ends of the spectrum coming together. So it's going to be interesting to see how this team susses out. Ed, you got anything you want to ask these maniacs as we get ready to cycle some more people in?
Why do you do this to me?
Well, like I said, originally this was just me and DeLuna. Bulldog got caught word of it and went, I want
Bulldog makes the most damn sense. He's the most tweener out of the three of you.
Yeah, well, the way I see it, this is kind of a middle point thing. You've got two good guys, one bad guy, and now they're meeting in the middle. Essentially, is what the idea of this is.
I'm gonna snipe from Zako. So we got the good, the bad, and the Bulldog.
God damn it! That chose to be our name.
So
I like that. That's funny.
It's fine.
Oh, okay. Jack actually has a question. I think was directed at us.
Are they heel or just not that good? So the way that I saw them based on the promo they cut, they're fed up. They've been kicked around and pushed around, and I think they're still going to lean good guy, but they're going to do bad things because everybody wants to be a tweener nowadays. We don't really have a really dominant heel faction anymore, except for maybe the Cartel, which we'll get to that if they happen to show up.
The way that I was picturing it is basically like during the prime of the Shield, how they were like, yeah, we're good guys, but we do bad things, essentially,
Yep.
All right. Well, guys, thank you very much. And we'll, like I've been telling everyone, hang out. Who knows what's going to happen later in the evening. I'm not saying, and guys, I want to be clear. I don't have a plan. I'm just saying, depending on how the night goes, we might cycle people back in if it's relevant to the conversation. Anyway, Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Later.
Okay. And speaking of which, hey, Tim, are you back? I guess not.
I am.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Just got back.
Okay, because I'm going to need to go take a break here real quick. So who should we, but while we're discussing looking at who we got.
I was going to say bring in the tag champs because they were the first people to have the belts changed, but Panda ducked, so it's just Jay Frost.
I mean, we can bring in Jay Frost. I was going to bring them both in together, but then suddenly Panda evaporated.
I'll tell you what, since they're both here and their partners aren't, give me Sonic and Jay Frost, and we'll talk about the tag belts.
That works. All right, so
there we go.
Plus, it's always interesting to have Actually, both of them.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly.
And
we have the British guy and the guy who demands to be British.
And I'll be back in a minute.
All right, bye, Caliban. Hi, guys.
Hello there.
So, two people from two tag teams with very different outcomes during Multivania. How are you guys feeling?
Overall Sonic,
positive.
You go first. Yeah,
no. Overall positive. It's one of those things where it's a long time coming because I mean we'd held the belts now for about a full year, literally Vania to Vania. And there's always that risk that a team can overstay their welcome, or a champion can overstay their welcome. And there were a lot of guys. I mean, like the Madness and the Cartel as a larger group had been pushing and mentioning us and keeping us in the conversation the entire time, where a lot of other teams stepped up, took their shot, and then disappeared to do other things. The guys from the Cartel were constantly referencing us, saying we were the target. As back as far as like October and August last year. So this coming round to them and being their moment is, I agree with that. It's still hard to take, as anything, because you want at least you want to go out as on top as a boss and all that kind of stuff and there were, I don't know, just personal,
It's always tough to even with because you're like, it's been such a good run and we'd love for this to go on forever, but like eventually everybody knows it's going to end. I just wanted to do you guys justice. I ran the match twice, and really I just let RNG take over, and I picked the better of the two matches, and Mad World happened to win both matches. So it was meant to be, and I was like, I'm just going to pick the better of these two. But like, I love the Guild. I really wanted the Guild to have something, and I would have been cool if they won. Apex, like Crimson Phoenix coming out with that, and Revolos, like I would have loved for them to win. Mad World was a built-in story, and if you guys retained against all that bullshit and RNG with everything stacked against you, I would have run with it. I could have, you guys could have dropped the belts at the next breakdown. It was about time. I felt like the tag division, you were running out of opponents, so it was just who was going to do it. Yeah. And this made the most sense. Is if one of these teams beat you, I was just going to run with it.
Yeah, no, like I said, I mean, I haven't been as. I won't say hands-on because I don't know how hands-on other people are, but as involved in the, this. I've tried to drop you suggestions and along the way of who I think is worthy. Sounds egotistical, but who's caught the eye and who should have a shot, who's been around the longest and hasn't. That's how, for example, like say when I was pitching Forces of Nature for the longest time, and we happened to beat them, and then. Like I said, I've always had my eye on, and I've been outright like pulling your kind of shit on Squinto the entire time. Like he's been bringing it up all the time in the Discord and the chat, and all this like you're ducking us, all the rest of it, and I'm staining character saying you try to rob it, you try to cheat the Cartel in, you're not going to have this shot until we say you're going to have this, and just pushing away. No, we're not ducking you. You're not worthy.
Basically, and Apex basically ducked you guys the whole year. They were like, we're not interested. We're not interested. And now they're like, all right, now we're interested.
Yeah, well, that's again, that was the other things. Like Apex have suddenly decided they want a tag team title shot at Multivania straight off the bat, and it's like, okay, but I'm glad Mad World ended up with it.
Speaking of, hey, what up, Panda?
Yo, what's up?
Hi. So from a team that reigned for a year to the team that upset, and it was an upset, chained hell, because they held the belts for like 7 or 8 months, which is unheard of on Warzone. How you guys, because Revenant, you've been do you like Revenant, big main man? Like, what am I supposed to call you? Panda?
The Atomic Adonis, that'll be fine.
All right, Atomic Adonis.
3-time, 2-time, 3-time, 1-time, anytime champion.
No, it's 4-time now.
You have way too many.
I
can't do this. I can't.
I'm
giving Warzone back. I can't. I tried to be nice. So, guys.
What's up?
Panda, you've already had a title before. You were a Nexus Titan champion, but you haven't been a champ in a while. How did it feel to get a belt back? And were you more happy about winning, or were you more happy that you got Frost his first title?
This is his second title.
Yeah, it's second,
Was it? I don't remember the other title. What was it?
The tag team.
Were you a tag champ?
We beat Lucius and Grizzly.
I thought that didn't count because it was in the C101.
No,
that was before C101.
That's right.
It just wasn't a long reign.
Yeah.
I forgot. I thought the Bell Bros went in as the champs for some reason, but they were during the show. They had it forever.
Yeah.
The 24-hour tag team champions.
The 24-hour, 48/7 undisputed television champions
Of all Nexus.
of all Mexico. All right, well, that was a dumb question. I'm going to pretend like I know my lore. My bad.
Oh, you're fine.
So how did it feel to get the belts again?
Honestly, it felt pretty good because after the C101, the tag belts were kind of tainted for us for a while.
Yeah, it kind of left. It was kind of, and I'll admit it. We kind of actually felt where it affected our promo game. It's just like, do we have any energy left to make any promos?
No.
And it was just,
It's like after a night with a decent hooker, you think she loves you, but she really just wanted your money.
Just let Elsa go.
Yeah.
Well, wait for those promos to come out soon.
Yeah, we gotta plan the after party. I gotta get Lil John on the phone.
Yeah, and we also need to get Shaggy.
Oh shit, that is true.
I'm good. Okay. I come back here. And
Are you?
Are we suddenly in character, out of character? Am I smelling toast? What exactly is going on?
The lines are blurred anymore.
Honest, the line gets thinner with each promo and with each idea J Frost comes to me with.
Look, we will actually spend a solid 6 hours creating at least 15 to 20 plus promos.
You know, I thought you had peaked with Get Low, and then the Slim Shady promo happened.
You know what's a funny story about that, Caliban? That's technically your fault.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
it is.
Because when we did the Burnout is Down, when he was in the hospital promo, you didn't give us promo of the week. And I was saying no to the Eminem promo for so long, but you didn't give us promo of the week. So I went to J Frost at 2:00 in the morning, and I'm like, we're doing this.
Now, mind you.
You saying we finally broke you?
Oh, no. You just gave
couldn't
us
take it anymore?
You just gave us spite and also a reason to create a promo while we're...
What did I
Let's see, you had vodka, I had gin.
What did I pick that week? Do you remember?
You picked a Sir Unkley's promo, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, now you guys have to be fair. His promo game has been on point lately.
Oh, yeah, no.
I'm just biased, and I took it as a challenge. I'm like, oh, his promos are so good. And I took offense to it a little bit.
Yeah, and now this is how the main man turns heel. Thanks, guys.
Well, I compliment your constructive use of those feelings. You turned it into gold.
You know, I have to admit, it's pretty impressive when you can take spite and turn it into gold.
Yeah,
comedy go.
Burnout.
Apparently, you've learned from Bosco well.
Well, I mean, somebody's gonna have to take over the throne when he's gone.
So,
I'm already here, though.
I know. Just keep that seat warm for me, buddy.
Don't call it a comeback. We've been here for years.
That's true. Been here for years. Almost done it all. Almost.
So I'm gonna ask. Okay, I'm gonna ask an off the wall question to Panda here. So Panda, you've been around for a while.
Since the beginning.
You were part of the Faces of Fear. So how do you feel? I mean, obviously you are now about as divorced from that storyline as you can get because you and J Frost have forged your own path. But how do you feel about the current state of the Faces of Fear, whatever that might actually be?
I mean, they don't really exist anymore. I mean, they're kind of done. Like, they lasted for a good while. Like, they're kind of like a faction that started out cool, went on for a while, became legendary during that time, but almost went on a little bit too long. And also, I kind of got tired of doing the
basically turned into the NWO, but us turning into crap NWO wasn't because we got like 40-something members. Although we were one of the largest factions at a period of time, and we did have to trim our numbers.
That's true.
Also true. That's how I got out, actually. Well, kicked out.
okay, I'm going to say it. We're not. Tim and I have discussed this. We don't actually know where Storyteller is right now.
Yeah, I know. I kind of just faded out. Let's be honest. It was like, oh, okay, I was kind of there, and it's like, yeah, I helped out a bit with the murder cave. I gave them a hand, and now it's like, oh.
You're like one of the minions from Power Rangers. People know you were there, but no one knows what you're doing now.
See, I was gonna go Scott Bakula Quantum Leap. I had completed my mission, and I was no longer needed. I had to move on to the next one.
He went out for cigarettes a month ago and never came back.
Wait, Tim, that makes you Henry Killinger. So,
well,
just
good night, everybody.
All right.
Okay, look, I'm just going to say this right now, Panda. We might need to get the adoption papers ready. Story, how would you feel?
All right. So guys, we have a lot of people waiting to get in here. And I'm getting scared of this conversation. So we're gonna cycle you out. Ed, any last question for these guys?
They answer pretty much everything and then some.
All right. Thanks, guys.
They answered too much.
Guys.
See you next.
All right, let's see who we got. All right, I want to bring, so the next person I'm going to bring in part is just because they've literally been here since we started the stream. And he's been really patient. And he also did some cool stuff. So ladies and gentlemen, Beowulf.
What up, nerd?
Hello, how's it going?
Good. All right, so obviously you made a bit of a splash during Multivania, both on the kickoff show and in the show itself. What inspired that? Okay, so you decided, I got a camera, I got a mask.
Well, actually, it's my brother that has the camera.
Okay.
So, yeah, because it was kind of an idea I had kind of when I joined. It's like, you know what? I mean, I was a theater kid in high school, so I figure, I probably should put that to the test a little bit. So I was trying to see if I could schedule something with my brother because he's got the camera and all the software and stuff, because I can't do shit with any of that. So I was like, hey, you have off sometime this week? He said, oh, hey, I actually have a 3-day weekend because of 4th of July and whatnot. And so I was like, okay, cool. I want to cut this IRL promo in the basement of the house. So if that's all right with you, then yeah, we can get this started. And that's how that entire story goes.
Okay, fair enough. And now, because you're also, correct me if I'm wrong, you're the newest wrestler we have in MNW.
So I joined mid-March, and then I know obviously there was a couple other people that joined me after that, because I know there was a Meister, owner of Sergeant Major Payne.
Okay.
Then there was Nakano, Mr. Butler, and I think that's about it.
Okay, but I think you were part. I think of you as part of that class,
so to speak.
Yeah. Basically, part of the new batch of new blood.
The latest group of recruits. All right, and of course, you had the advantage of the beginning of showcase matches on Warzone.
Mm-hmm. And I will say that was a little bit of a surprise for me.
Okay.
Because not every day you see on the card, oh hey, turns out I'm in the opening match of Future Shock. It's my official debut. Oh hey, later down the match, I'm in the final 3 and I knock out the Major and Lady Boots. That's a big thing.
I mean, that's kind of the beauty of showcase matches, is it gives you a chance to stand out in ways that maybe you wouldn't otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bosco, you got anything for Beowulf?
Hmm?
Do you have a question? Yeah, this guy right here.
I'm sorry. I guess just a comment. I'm sorry it wasn't RNG.
No, you're fine. I figure as soon as I saw Shere Khan come in as the final entrant,
I figure most people were like, "Well, he's going over, brother."
I literally went in chat and I typed in character just the word "fuck."
Yeah.
I mean, what else can you do?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Bill, I mean, obviously you're still kind of building your career, but you're. I think you made a splash. I think you made an impact.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead because people are coming.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, this is what happened last year when we did this.
Yeah.
So that's fair. Right now, I think we got a good pace, but we're going to go ahead and cycle you out so we can bring some people in. But like I'm telling everyone, let's hang out. We might bring you back in later.
So because their stories are interlocked, what do you think of Bob and Sean?
Okay, Ed, I'm going to tell you something right now.
Mm-hmm.
My head, get out of it.
Okay.
Just
for a second, I was like, let me just tell you something. Never again try to bring people into my call. I was like, oh, shit.
I was like,
oh, shit, Uncle Caliban is about to crack the whip.
Why are you because it's like you're thinking the things I'm thinking.
That's fair. That's probably why you like my show, because you're like, I see where his logic is.
All that, and let's face it, sometimes we do jokes that only the two of us get. So that's...
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Sean. Hey, Bob.
Hey, Jonathan.
Greetings and salutations, friends.
How's it going?
Fairly well. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing all right. How are you? Okay, so let's talk about the Multivania experience again. Jeez. Here we are a year later.
Okay. I thought it was a fun show.
Yeah.
So much work got put into Multivania by so many people, and it definitely shows.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I know how far out people were beginning to work on Multivania. And it is impressive.
But when are we going to get Multivania filmed in 3 different locations?
Don't doubt Bosco.
I mean, dear God, I'm in Seattle.
What did you say, Sean?
Bosco's in LA, and
what did you say, Sean?
Tim's in Georgia. What more do you want?
I'm gonna have to super kick this motherfucker.
I want 3 different locations of live wrestling.
Oh, and Zako's in parts unknown,
Hawaii.
and I'm not sure where off key is. So
I know what I
Further
want.
parts unknown.
Yeah,
Give me my WrestleMania
all y'all mothers are going to be in Ohio. Make it happen. You guys have the shot.
Hey, look, yo, I will fucking suplex Zacho in real life just for you, Ed. I got
Do
you.
it. Do it. Don't even do it on grass. On concrete.
Oh, done. It's Ohio. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's Ohio. There's only concrete. There's like weeds
it's either
in the concrete
or cornfield. Which one do you want?
Dude, fucking cornfield. I'm down.
So
I'll hit him with the off switch.
Real quick, I just want to thank Bob publicly for getting me all those Maelstrom matches for the kickoff.
All those matches were recorded by Grizzly over the course of the Maelstrom history. And so I went back, as soon as you asked, I went back and I checked every single video that he's given me. I wanted to give you the Revenant and Anon versus the Slash Street Boys so bad, or Arc versus the Power Rangers, but they were gone.
Because I would have done the Slash Street Boys, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Arc would be, but hey, you got me Lameme and you got me Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
and I remember
Lameme to me is like that is one of the signature Maelstrom matches.
Although
anything with the meme, Lameme.
Well, I think Zach hit me up. He was like, Caliban needs like some not MNW centric matches. Do you have any TKW ones? I was like, man, it's on my old computer, but I could give you fucking the Ginger Boy turn on Warfist, which is like one of the most iconic things I have on my show, or the Birth of Injustice. Those were both really good.
That was a moment, yeah.
Yeah.
People are still mad about the Warfist thing to this day.
Well,
Warfist is a good bean.
And I beat the shit out of her for like 20 minutes.
But we also, I mean, I think it was also fun. I'm glad you got me the Cure match, because just the insanity. I mean, having to explain clown Cure matches, but it gave us a chance to really talk about the lore of Maelstrom, which that was part of the goal in the kickoff show when we decided, hey, let's get matches from other shows. Because since the MNW channel is so focused on just the 3 MNW shows, a chance to show off, oh, by the way, there's actually a much wider community here than you even imagine. So let's show off what else exists out there and hopefully pique people's interest to go. I know one person was like, I think when we did the, people loved the Lameme match, but once we played Godzilla, people were like, wait, what?
What?
Yeah, your goal of getting attention to the other shows was successful, because I have had people reach out to me for information about the Maelstrom since.
Cool.
Excellent.
Success. All right. So let's talk about
Mazel
you.
tov.
Now let's talk about you guys in Multivania. Bob. So let's I think for those of us that are like keyed into what goes on, the Murder Cave was like of course. But what went into behind the scenes on having the Murder Cave appear as a faction?
Believe it or not, we didn't push for it because we all had our own thing, but it was kind of a how to word this properly. We didn't ask for it. It was given to us just because of what everything that Arkoff and Grizzly and Chaz have done for the community. Like, I still have nightmares about the 5 of us. I'm including you in on this, Bosco.
Why?
The 5 of us having to sit through 2K20.
Oh, crow. Yeah, we were all doing separate streams and came to like the same conclusion all at once.
At the same time, we all end up getting in the same call. Like, yeah, no, we're abandoning ship. No, sorry.
I was around for that.
I've never heard.
I feel like Arkoff went into the creation suite, saw how much was missing, and went, I refuse.
That I have never heard Arkoff sound so defeated as that night.
He was so angry.
He was
yeah,
very upset.
I was like, because I remember I had the stream on the background, and I'm just like listening to all you guys, and I'm just like, wow, Arkoff. And then his voice went deeper than normal, and went, oh, no.
There's another level.
It's another level.
Furious at that game.
Yeah.
How low do you go? It goes lower. It's like, oh, fuck.
Well, and like I said, it was disappointing. It's that cliche of I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. I have never heard Arkoff so disappointed in 2K20.
Wait, Bob, did you give fucking Caliban the execution of fucking Strauss?
No, because the only reason why I didn't do it is because we didn't have it recorded. Grizzly had to delete it.
Aww.
I would have totally given Caliban the grums.
That would have been fun to play. What was because I was listening in on that stream that night, and fortunately I had only opened the game for like an hour, and as soon as everyone went abandoned ship, it's like, well, I'm doing my refund right now.
Oh yeah, no, literally the same, because I was sitting there too.
Evolution and Jeff Hardy's theme were one and the same. I remember that.
I ended up using that money to buy Sea of Thieves.
Apparently, it's gotten better since we abandoned ship. Connor got a hold of 2K20 and actually made a somewhat passable show based off of it until, he ran out of. He wanted to take RIW in a different direction from 2K20, so that's what happened to RIW.
Well, I think we're all in agreement that the one thing that 2K games are not is flexible.
No,
not by design anyway. Everybody here has managed to make it work, but
so Sean, so we've been talking about Bob's experience and the Murder Cave experience. What was your how did you feel about Multivania this year and Aiden Zero's experience?
Man, Chaz stabbing us in the back was something I was actually caught up. I was like, man, it's gonna happen. Because, like, it's either going to be Jake or it's going to be Chaz. Because it can't be me. It won't be Wonderball. It won't be Leonid. It's going to have to be either Jake or Chaz, the two, like, founders of High Voltage. Which one is it going to fucking be? And I'm looking at both of them. Everyone's like, it's only one of you motherfuckers. And it was Chaz. And I was like, okay, you know what? Yeah, fuck you, Chaz. And then the Murder Cave thing happened. I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. So I'm talking I think I was talking to Ed, and Ed was just like, do a promo, and I went, huh? And he went, yeah, green light, whatever the fuck you want to say, go for it. And I went, oh, he went, yeah, I control the promo. Just as long as you follow the rules.
You and Zako both.
Yeah, I was like, any limits, because I can go crazy. He went, just follow the rules that you guys set for promos, and I went, ooh! And I was like, all right, I'm gonna burn it.
You haven't gotten to do your shoot promo in the era of the shoot promo.
I know. I've always tried to, like, play the company man almost, where it's like, I'm going to kiss the babies, shake the hands, and do the right thing. And you know what? Fuck that. I'm tired of it.
How many more
Louis,
daggers in the back do you
Sometimes
need
you guys
before you
gotta shake
snap?
the baby.
This is the third betrayal. First it was Louis. First it was fucking Louis. Wasn't there one before Louis?
It was Alcir and Louis.
Yeah, and then fucking Chaz.
And then Chaz, yeah. So it's like, motherfucker. Like,
no one's gonna blame Aiden for having trust issues.
yeah, no. So it's like the Mega Money in the Bank was cool. I'm watching it with a few other people, and I'm just like, man, if I win, and then Ed goes, and you can cash in on either show, and I went, hello?
I'm listening. I am listening, because fuck Nero.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck Nero. And so, sorry, I love Nero Napier, the person. Fuck that lizard bitch.
Fuck the lizard bitch. But I know you're. So here's my question then. If you had won, who would you rather cash in on? Zocco or Nero?
Fuck.
Because they both one fucked you, but then in real life, I know you are friends with Nero, so it'd be interesting.
I'm friends with both of them in real life, so it's like, fuck, man. Like, I think me and Zach would have a lot of fun with promos. I think Aiden coming in and, like, out of nowhere and just fucking over Apex would make the crowd lose their fucking mind.
You'd be like Frankie Kazarian, where you're like the fucking Apex killer.
Yeah, and I would ride that gimmick to the fucking bank. Don't get me wrong. But, like, I've been talking to a few other gremlins. Ed, you know them. A lot of them are, have been either on Flashbang or are on Flashbang currently. And, man, we're really talking about the people are weapons thing.
Yep. It's becoming a thing.
Oh, is it?
Yes. Every time somebody, like, throws somebody else into another person, I'm like, well, people are weapons.
I have heard you say it, but it's like, man... Me, Theron, Gingy, fucking Jack Andrews, and fucking Scott Stevens.
Yep.
Fucking, we already have like a theme. We already have like a shirt design for like when we start doing wrestling matches in real life. We already got this shit together. We already have like 16 tag finishers all involving throwing hex at people.
Bro, if you came to Flashbang, the first people I'd put you with were Scott and Jack. I put them all back together. I don't give a fuck. And I've already got the theme picked out.
I can get you the fucking PNG for the shirts. We can put it in the game. I'll listen. We can talk
for Scott. So when Tim was taking his break, Scott has usually been my go-to guy as a replacement co-host, and he did one, and then he couldn't do it because he started getting actual real-life wrestling bookings.
Mm-hmm.
And that was sort of like, well, that's easy with Jack. I'm just going to make the joke that he can't be here because he's booked in New Japan or wherever. Because it's like, well, I'll just use reality. But he's always been, I mean, I'm a little disappointed he's not here right now because, I mean, talk about somebody who's been part of the Firing Line family.
Yeah.
Has been hard luck. So, anyway, I just want to give him a little shout out since he came up.
Absolutely. For the rumor mill, though, Hardluck's been talking to me about a possible booking in October in Ohio. So we might get the first People Are Weapons MNW stable in real life.
Excellent.
And if that does happen, man, I'm going to be throwing out MNW finishers like Albatross in the early days.
I'll be honest, now that AEW's touring, there's a part of me that hopes that one day I'm going to throw on an Evolution and there's going to be Scott E. Stevens. And it's like, oh no!
Because I have a lot of friends in AEW. I have a lot of friends currently in AEW. If I ever get the call, hey, we need someone to get fucking tapped out by MJF, or we need a guy just to get fucking buried. Money in hand, I'll make the trip. Let's fucking go.
Let's go. Make that Marty trip.
Yeah, I'll do it. Fuck it. It's money.
Fucking stream the whole way up there. Be like, I'm going to E-dubs.
I'll do it, man.
I am literally 2.5 hours from Jacksonville.
There you go.
So.
If it happens,
fucking Tim and Aiden, man, jobbing out to the Acclaimed.
Let's
go.
And
his shitty raps.
Well, the job as manager, that's about it. That's
Matt problem. I'll be like, Max, you motherfucker. I worked the show with him once. And I'll never forget.
Like, I remember your scrawny ass. I'm fucking elbow dropping you in 2 minutes.
I have promised Sean that if he ever gets booked in the Pacific Northwest, that I have to come out as his manager.
Yeah.
As Dr. Caliban.
Absolutely.
Which, obviously, I'm slowly trying to work together a Dr. Caliban outfit. This is prototype.
Here's a fun one. Caster's fucking gimmick back in the day in 2016 was garbage. He was the tweener Max Caster.
Oh, great.
Well, and his finisher was an RKO he called the tweener cutter. And he would just fucking do the T with his hand. He was like, yo, you want to touch T's? It's like, oh, okay.
All right, you need to go.
Yeah. So I think we got to get ready to say, but
Gotta wrap it up.
I want to say before we, Bob, one day we'll get to finally do the story. You know the story.
I do want the good doctors to meet. I do want that to happen.
We have to have the Caliban versus Grimm moment.
Well, I'm still waiting for whatever to happen between Grimm and Storyteller. So,
all I'm saying is that's the day where you have to make your children fight, and it'll be Warfist versus the Creation. So,
jeez, Bob was actually going to say something. Y'all talked over. What was he going to say, Bob?
Well, they have had a moment like behind the scenes where they played chess without a chessboard, but I look forward to that moment where, you know, they do get to have that interaction if Caliban is ever on Warzone or Grimm is ever on Flashbang again, and that would absolutely be a lot of fun. I love being able to help use Grimm as a tool to be able to raise up people's stories. Like, say, for example, with Multivania, I cheered so damn hard for XR Kun in that match, and that was just such a good moment. And Bosco, thank you so much for letting me have it, dude.
What, with XR? Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was
hell
fun.
yeah.
I hope you guys like the whole murder cave thing. I know none of you really knew about that storyline, but I hope the reveal and the subsequent story will appease you.
Oh hell yeah! I love every second of it, dude.
Yep.
All right. Well, guys,
the only thing I demand, the four of you need to cut a promo together.
That's going to be difficult, but I could see it happening.
Make it happen. I expect Chaz Lead to cut a promo for the first time ever. I demand it. I know Codename Chaz is listening somewhere.
He does good promos too. I've heard him speak.
He's done it for the Maelstrom. So
yeah. I'm just saying, man. All of you have cut promos at one time or another. Make it happen.
I'd love to give Chaz Maelstrom Chaz's theme, Warlord Chaz's fucking.
And I'll make Arkov do it. I'll just pay him.
Well, I proposed it to Bosco, but somebody else is already using Chaz's theme in Flashbang.
Yeah, it's Matrix got it.
All right, guys.
Matrix uses it better. It's fine.
All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Because
have a good one, y'all.
I got people.
Bye.
Waiting. All right, thanks.
Have a good one, guys.
Okay. So we got. I'm trying to decide if we want to bring in Twitch or Max.
I say bring in Twitch because he needs to go to bed.
It's true. It's true, and he said, "Hey, Twitch."
Hello.
Now's your time to call.
Hello.
Chance to call me a bitch in person.
Bitch.
What? I'm.
Well, that's why we're trying to get you in now because we know you probably want to go to sleep.
Fuck.
I'm not
sorry.
Sleeping.
Fuck.
Fuck. All right, fair enough. So
with the amount of pain I'm in, I'm not sleeping.
What happened?
He's a wrestler.
I got injured.
Okay, fair. No, but there's usually a specific.
Yeah, man.
story.
Zephyr beat your ass.
Mm.
That's what it was.
Mm.
So, all right. So you've come back in style.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. So here's my question, and I know this has kind of been a hanging thread, and we've talked about stuff like this before when we've talked. But since you actually wrestle in real life and you have a character, how close is the current version of Jack Andrews to your in-ring persona?
How close is Jack Andrews to Solly J? Basically, Jack Andrews is Solomon Jack without the character of me being mess with your mind. That's pretty much it. And I'm kind of slowly transitioning Solomon Jack from mess with your mind to like, I don't give a fuck who you are. Just get out my ring.
Okay.
So I'm the number one. I don't care if you got a belt. I'll shove that belt up your ass. I don't fuck. Get out.
So since you've finally gone through the whole reveal and you got your match with Zephyr, do you want to explain what you were going for with the whole way you came back for those people that were confused?
Yeah, so basically I was doing the whole WCW Sting thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know.
Like with the vignettes and stuff and not wrestling and everybody was like, what's he going to get in a ring?
But then, like, as I came back, I was like, oh, well, role playing standing up on the Titantron. But then everyone was like, ooh, that's cool. I'm going to do it too. And I was just like,
it's true. Everybody started copying everything you did. I'm in the catwalk. And they're like, I'm in the catwalk too.
And I was just like, yeah, okay. It was really funny as well because half the time it was like Jack, as I'd say, like points of thing, and someone would come up and be like, "Are you actually going to use that bat?" And I'm just like blatantly ignores. Like I was just like, oh, God, I want to tell this to people, but kind of ruins the plan if we do it. And then we just kind of fast forwarded everything because we can't really just have me do fuck all for a year.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's good at that. And the match I feel at Vania was the right match to kick off night one. It had the right. It just felt right. It set the tone pretty much for the entire night.
Yeah,
I was really happy with that match. I normally you don't start off the day with a street fight, but like you guys fucking killed it.
I think it also told everyone that this hold on to your seats for this Multivania.
Yeah.
We're going backstage first match.
First match.
Yeah. Like it was great. Like and with the vignettes and stuff, I was doing like that. Like originally, I was like, I'd target the whole of Apex, but then I was like, that doesn't make any sense. It wasn't the whole of Apex. It was Zephyr and Nero. They're the ones that did it. So I was like, all right, well, I'll kick the crap out of Zephyr, and then I'll plant the seed for something with Nero in the future, which I did with the recent promo I posted. I gotta show myself. But yeah, no, it's been like overall, it's been great. Like I'm surprised you managed to get Vania done. With everything.
Yeah.
Because I barely got my fucking big pay-per-view done this year for NMPW because, well, I'm the only guy working on it. So I say that I've got a couple of other guys doing stuff, but they don't do any recording.
It's an effort. Takes that literally for this year. It took a community.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I was surprised you were doing a pre-show. I was like, oh damn, we're getting Multivania access.
When did that idea come up? We were talking about things we want to do with YouTube, and because I want to say we started pitching the pre-show idea about 6 weeks ago, 6 weeks before Vania.
Yeah, it was a little over a month.
Yeah,
that is not a lot of time.
and I just part of it was going to like, hey, Bosco, do you think this is going to work? And he's like, yeah, great idea. Let's go for it. And then, getting Zacho involved and then reaching out to, Bob and you and
yeah, it's like when I got the message, it was like, you got any pre-recorded stuff? And I think it was like I got the message at like 4:00 in the morning. I was sat here
time zones.
Yeah, I was just sat here doing like other work and shit because designing stuff. I get this man, I'm just like, I probably.
And actually, we had a lot of fun. We had fun with that match, and the one we ended up using, because I don't know why I couldn't get the other match. I had it and then I couldn't find it again. And it's like, all right. Well, I got at least the good one, especially because it had Wang on it, and it just happened to be the same outfit Wang wore.
Yeah.
Into Multivania. It was like, oh, okay, cool. Plus, we got to tell that underdog story. That was the best thing. You gave me that one. And you gave me the lore.
Yeah, so segue NNPW, the show I do. I have a junior heavyweight division because I basically made it the New Japan of the Multiverse. And the character Cody Hansen, played by CJ Blackthorne, basically had beat Gingy in the inaugural tournament in an upset. Then had a massive feud with Ginger Boy, which culminated in a best 2 out of 3 falls match, which Cody won. Cody then earned another opportunity to get to win the title, which culminated then at Nexus Kingdom, which is really cool. And all that, and fucking Wang was the junior heavyweight champion that dethroned Hex, because Hex had been at that point the longest reigning champion on my show, which was really fun. But yeah, it was. I can't remember the other match I sent you though. I don't remember which one it was.
It was a tag match of some kind.
It was Paradigm versus. I was actually quite excited for that one. Yeah, Paradigm versus Hell's Bells, which was Snignex's Amanda's Rudo Lucha characters.
So yeah, I was trying to find, and it was like I kept trying. I was like, I don't know where it went. So that's, but we had that, and we had Bob's stuff, and then Zako got me some UCW stuff, which thank goodness he was there to actually commentate.
I love how you just had UCW mine, and then the complete acid trip that was the Maelstrom. Well, that is the Maelstrom.
It kind of showed the breadth of our community, though. Here's the stuff Twitch does that makes perfectly good sense, and then here's a mime doing a match.
Here's a mime wrestling an imaginary person.
That was. I remember when that debuted. I was like, I shouldn't like this, but I really do, because it reminded me of Damien Sandow.
Yeah. Well, then when he sent me Godzilla, it's like, I'm saving this one for a moment, because, and then Tim and I were playing up I'm not sure this guy has to be, whoever's doing this must be a huge kaiju fan. He's naming himself after a very famous character. Can't wait to see what his costume's going to be. The whole playing up, there's no way it's actually Godzilla. And then,
I don't even know where you got that model from.
Bosco, didn't you tell me once you actually have that model yourself?
Which model?
Godzilla.
Oh,
yes, I do.
Yeah, I mean,
Twitch versus Godzilla. Got it.
Okay, there you go.
I'll job out to the G, man. I don't care.
He's gonna hit you with the G spot.
Damn.
I'm okay with that.
All right. Well, Bosco, anything you want to ask Twitch before we?
What are you most excited about doing now that you finally put Zephyr in your rearview mirror?
I'm looking forward just to the scape of Flashbang as it is now, especially that new little trio that says, "Oh, we're going to police the place where the shield." Yeah, I'm the spear, bitch.
All right, well, there we go.
Police this. Yeah, no, I'm just looking forward to everything, because everyone's just fucking killing it, basically. And I'm quite, I'm looking forward to who I'm going to feud with next. Who knows? Maybe for whatever reason I'll feud with Scotty Stevens for a made-up reason that we don't know about yet.
I mean, that's always interesting, but
or maybe I'll go for the interdimensional title. Although that means I would have to beat Brawl Kaiser.
Yeah, and that would upset a lot of people, because he's.
It would, but you don't really give a shit.
Somebody's got to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
No one fucking else will.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you later.
See ya. Bye.
Bye. Why is this not working? There we go. Okay. Actually, before we get on, I was just realizing, you know what? I'm going to talk about my match.
Do it.
I actually had a match on the show. So this was for everyone. I want to give a little history, especially for the newer folks, maybe didn't see it. But so the first breakdown, which was in October, so it was was it Halloween weekend? I know the last year's breakdown was actual Halloween. Anyway, so the first breakdown, of course, my character, the Creation, turned on everyone, and of course it was the beginning of the Creation under the Empire's control arc, which we could also just title, so Bosco takes Caliban's character for 9 months.
Yep.
And I wanted everyone, this was in this kind of the tacit agreement until certain milestones happened. Bosco was very purposefully not telling me what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I was as in the dark as anyone. But, part of it was I had the Caliban character that I could still be active with and cut promos and be part of the community. And, of course, once we started Firing Line, one of the things I told Bosco is, I honestly don't need my character to be relevant in the community. But I still love him, and I'd like to get him back someday. But, yeah, so we had the whole storyline with the Creation culminating with Multivania last year, where he became himself again and got a measure of revenge on Dark Lord Prinny by helping Graven bury him. And then we just sort of spent the last year with the Creation. I mean, we used him very sparingly in this last year.
Yeah. Well, because I try to rotate people in and out of the spotlight, and I do some better than others. But, when the Creation was in the spotlight for almost a full year, you could cycle him into the background of House Caliban, where he could still be dominant, but I could also protect him while he doesn't have a ton of matches.
And we had the perfect story of he's recuperating.
Exactly. And now that he's kind of put Hyrule behind him, now he gets a fresh start of all right, what next for the Creation?
Yeah. And I guess that was sort of it, because Hyrule was kind of the symbol of his ordeal, since Hyrule's brain was in his body.
Mm-hmm.
So
he finally put that beast down.
Yeah, I loved the symbolism of it. At some point, we're going to have to reveal the rest of that story, but that's a...
It's true. And so what I'd like to do, and I'll say this live, I know who I wrote as it being the brain. I'm going to give you that information. Mm-hmm. I'm willing to negotiate, but I think you'll be happy with what I give you.
I have my own theory.
Yeah.
Obviously, but yeah, and it's not like you and I don't talk. So yeah, exactly. I'm just I figured I'm giving you the week off, like we promised.
Yeah, I do need the week off. Thank you.
So it's like, oh, well, we'll get to it later. But because originally the most logical thing for him would have been to go after the rest of the Empire, but they're gone. Because the only other real person he'd have had a beef with on that would have been Wes himself, and Johan took care of Wes. There is the possibility of reviving the rivalry with Lord V, but which really I'm glad that happened on the Go Home show, with him and V facing off again.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And it was good RNG, and it's nice. I also like the fact that V won, because it points out, the creation the creation does have people that can take him on.
Yeah, and V is a good counterbalance to what creation is. Like, they're both supernatural in their own ways, and they're both massive, and they can both move pretty good. Mm-hmm. And it's like Undertaker and Kane. They work well together.
Yeah, and Doppel and I get along great, so it's fine.
And I'm happy that he and Retired Tech are going to stick together.
Yeah, that works. That's a good pairing, and it's one of those. Yeah, the Empires broke up, but the Remnants are going to be doing things.
Yeah.
I obviously, for the question will be, and we'll work it out in the future, is what's next for the creation. I got a couple of ideas. Actually, I got an idea, but like I said, we'll talk about it later, of kind of what I want to do next. But I don't know if people noticed, ever since this part of the storyline began, notice Dr. Caliban hasn't made any promos recently.
Busy boy.
I've been doing all my promos as the creation. In part because I really felt this was the creation story. I didn't want it to be Caliban's story. But let's just say, yeah, Caliban does not understand the word idle. So
he's always doing stuff in the background.
Something will be going on. We'll figure that out. But yeah, it just, to me, it was like a nice, okay, he's come full circle, and yeah, we'll figure out. Also, the fact that we've got the faction. And I think that's always interesting, and how that faction works. We were joking the other night because on Tuesdays, Tim and I do a stream with Corporal Canada and Donkey King. And we're like, well, we got to do our own version of the Murder Cave. We got to get all four of our characters in one group. And I was like, yeah, except that, like, A, we're on different shows.
Yeah, I'm the one kink in that plan.
And B, the joke was we can't if we get Seth Jackson into the House of Caliban, he just becomes the Sergeant Hatred of the group. So
God,
not that I'm against it. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird.
Mike Davis, M. Mathis actually recently cut a promo, and I know Seth has been active, and Craig is at almost every show. I like how they stick around. Like, they've been so super cool with being in the background for a while. But like, it's time for them to all get a little something.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my little corner of my Multivania experience. It was it was nice getting the win. It was basically nice ending that story. Putting the bow on that story, and now we can move on. Now it's time for the new story. Speaking of stories,
this will probably be my last person because I got to get to dinner soon.
All right. So who do you want to bring in?
Oh God, I don't know.
Or do we want? Wait, since you got to do, let's do this instead. Instead of us picking a person, what else do you want to tell the folks about stuff that happened with Multivania or stuff upcoming?
Yeah, what's upcoming other than the show though?
Well, so okay, one thing, because I promised everyone we would settle this tonight, tomorrow night.
Correct.
Are you taking it off, or is there a dark?
So tomorrow night there will not be a show. I'm taking it off. What there might be is I might be watching AEW Dark and Elevated, which I did not do because I was taking a break on Monday, Tuesday. I might do that tomorrow. And then Saturday, it's going to be by ear. I'm going to wake up on Saturday, see how I feel. I might run a house show. I might not. Check the Discord. If you're on the Discord, that's the best place to find it. It'll be a low stakes thing. You could show up if you want. It's all good. I'm not sure. I don't know what the right call is yet.
Okay, so tomorrow night, if there's a stream, it would be an AEW stream.
Watching Dark and Elevation, correct.
Where the group of us come in and we all kind of shoot.
Exactly, yeah. It'd be like a Tuesday.
Okay. And then if, a TBD if there will be a Dark show on Saturday.
Correct.
Got it. Then I guess the only other thing is... Well, I know that we're still waiting for Kurt to come back from his vacation.
Correct.
Before there's any definitive. So we're
yes. So the next show is going to be, for those that are curious, Flashbang will resume on the 16th. That's a week from tomorrow. Mm-hmm. The idea is that Warzone will resume the day after it, but that is also to be determined based on talking to Kurt.
Right. So all right, that's that. So Sonic Gav is asking, when is the embargo up on, hey, Bosco, can I pitch something?
There's like 8 people already looking to pitch me stuff. Give me until after the end of the weekend. When we get back to the work week, that's when I'll start talking to you guys. Because I've already had to break that rule once or twice for very specific reasons.
Okay. All right. And with that, if you've got one more person in you, who do you want to bring in? Because we got here, let me tell you who I'm seeing. We got that are possibilities. We got Travis. We got Helix. We got OmniGeek.
Bulldog is in. Oh man, Bulldog, you came late.
Bulldog, we already had your moment. Well, we can bring him in later.
We bring him in later. Yeah. I'll tell you what.
Or we have Carla.
Give me Lasume and OmniGeek, although he's muted and deafened. I don't know if he's around.
All right. Well, let's do that then. All right. So we have Lasume and we have OmniGeek.
Let's see if they actually are here.
Didn't actually work because I missed. All right. Here we go.
There he is.
All right, guys. All right, well, looks like we're getting some reaction from Omni.
That's true. Hi, Omni.
Hey, Lasumi, are you there?
Oh.
Hi.
Yeah. I was muted because I could hear you guys better.
That makes sense. That's why I was like, I was giving you plenty of time to unmute or get ready. Yeah, actually, you know what? Because we're doing get Graven in here too, because it's the main event.
All right.
I'll hit them all at once.
Sure.
Hi, Graven. Yep, you've been dragged in here because I'm hitting the Flashbang boys before I leave.
Graven, you're get closer to your mic or something. You're real quiet, dude.
It's true. So Lasume, king of the showcase. Also, I don't know if your mic's working or not, but you let us know. It's being weird.
Yeah, I'm seeing the waiting logo.
Yep.
Oh, there he goes. I think.
Yep. Hi, Lasume. Eventually. All right, I'll go to OmniGeek while we let Lasume figure their stuff out.
All right.
How did you like your max with Matrix? I got the attire right, which is good.
Yeah, because it's funny because that attire we had been like holding in the pockets pretty much from day one. We were just trying to figure out because I think initially it was me and Phil who were working on it, and then we gave it over to you, and we were trying to figure out just a good time to use it. And then, I'm sorry for bugging you about it the last couple of weeks because when I wrote that promo, I was really banking on that showing up. And once again, big ups to Travis for helping me with some of the edits and giving me the sound effects to use. And Sithico for a little bit of advice because I was talking to him about when I was writing it. Anyway,
nice.
But
yeah, Sithico also broke his cherry in terms of promos.
Yeah, he did. But the match itself, yeah, that was pretty wild.
I told Zako to record it. I'm like, just run it. Whoever wins wins. So that was straight up RNG.
Oh yeah, I had ideas for what I would.
Yeah, because I was like, well, I kind of want Matrix to win, but I also kind of want OmniGeek to win. Fuck it, RNGesus, take the wheel. What do you want?
Yeah, and I find it crazy that like neither of us used a finisher in that match either. But and this is probably something I was going to do in character on regular Firing Line later on, but I don't know if I'm going to be available that day.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that was remarkable for me, and both me and Matrix have been talking about it, because we've been going back and forth about the promos and stuff too, and then leading up to this, is that somehow the RNG decided, oh, let's make OmniGeek act more brutal than normal.
Yeah, I mean, you guys did have a little bit of a grudge against each other, which it worked.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, and you know, you did pull me for a swerve there, and it didn't click until you said it, or about the what happened the previous night.
Ah, yes.
Like, as soon as I saw him with that outfit, I was like, oh my god, this has been set up for months since like, was it? I'm trying to remember, was it like August or September?
You're talking about what happened at the end of night one?
Yeah, what when Zenny started making those promos back in, like, I think.
So here's the best. So let me talk. So Graven, this transitions into your match because you were in the main event.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about your performance?
I wasn't mad. I pretty much went in figuring I wasn't going to win anyway. It was just a matter of how soon I got eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
I think I enjoyed it. I also like missed most of it because I was doing D&D at the time. But overall, I'm satisfied. I think I'm probably just as shocked as you were that Nero retained out of all of it.
Yeah, I think most people were like, well, somebody's taking it off him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it made sense for me in story, still not being 100%.
Here's the interesting thing. Almost everybody in that match has a story leaving that match without the belt. Like, most people, like, Nitzig has to deal with the Civil War. Reaper has to deal with the Empire being shut out. You have your thing going on with Macabre, which you've teased. You have Jagger having to deal with Kethjina. You have El Pollo is really the only person that could go back after Nero. Everybody else has something. Scott maybe could go back after him, but now with Jack doing stuff, we have to see where that goes. But I was actually happy. I was glad that Nero was able to retain because it was all RNG. I guess ran it and it fucking worked. Yeah, it made sense that people can move on. They don't have to be like, well, I have to go back after him. But here's the interesting thing about that match. The thing with Zen didn't know that was going to happen. You can ask Zen. When they cut the promo being like, I can't believe I failed. I can't believe it didn't go according to plan. They thought I was having them cut that about losing to the Bone Warriors. When he brought Sam out to the ring and was like, my plan didn't work. I was so close. Even Sam was like, oh, the tag titles. You thought you were close to the tag titles. There have been little hints along the way. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until I dropped the bomb of OmniGeek realizing, wait, who did him the Outlaws don't do favors. Why would they have done a favor? That was the biggest hit I was going to give.
Yeah.
And if you remember that Gem was part of the Outlaws, you're like, they did a solid for their buddy. That's the only person they would ever not do this for money for.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, like Phil, it clicked in his head, and I heard people go, I think I know who it is. But for everybody else, it's the, oh shit, now I see the breadcrumbs moment of this is what I want. And Zen had mentioned to me years ago, like, hey, after the 64-man tournament, if I could ever get a shot at Nero, I'd love to take him out. Like, I know you've got a lot going on, and I'm going to be patient. So this has been in the back of my hand. He's had that attire made for a long time, and it wasn't going to come out until this happened. And it has been literally years in the making. And I don't even know if Zen still remembers, but I waited for the perfect time.
Yeah, I remember those promos where he did the whole feathered serpent thing.
Yep.
And then, as soon as that all happened last night, it completely clicked. Because, okay, since we all already have, this is already out in the air of who done it the whole time. The way things were leading up, I was actually in my head thinking of accusing Kethjina about it. Because I was thinking that she was trying to set up, the Omnislayers and Apex and all that against each other and stuff so she could go in for what she was doing.
Yeah, no, but I like how all of that stuff intertwines.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can look back and go, I see it. I see the threads. It's a lot better than this came out of left field. I don't know why this is a thing. Which I think might be like, why Gemini? I think people got it when he showed up. They're like, oh shit, I get it.
Well, we had during the kickoff show, we were of course talking about it.
Yeah.
A, because it had just happened, and B, Zacho got us that match.
The match with Wiley, which now makes a lot more sense. Like, why would Wiley accept the challenge? Oh, Gemini poisoned him. And Blight. Blight's going to want to kill him. Oh, fuck.
Well, and we were talking about so there's two obvious outstanding bits of this story. Manatee. How does Manatee fit in?
And I'm leaving that, like, that is up to them. I'm sure Manatee has thought about it, and, like, I know where I would take the story and what I would have Manatee do, but I'm waiting to see if he wants to role play. So if Manatee happens to hear this, or he's out there, or somebody talks to him, let him know the ball's in his court. He can either go all in with Manatee, he can go all in with Gemini. He could, like, be in the middle and be like, I'm not really sure, like Jimmy Uso style, or he could be like, nah, fuck this, I'm out. You used me. How dare you?
Well, especially because one of the things we were pointing out is, wait a minute, Gemini was working with Manatee in catering. I wonder how he managed to poison those people.
Exactly.
So, dang.
It all makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, he was a member of Fate. He knows Jagger. He knows Kevgina. That's where he got the Fate poison. Like, all of this stuff, like all of the good guys from back in the day, it was easy for him to get resources.
No, it's a great story.
Yeah.
But back to the guys here. So,
yeah.
Hey, Omni, you solved your mystery.
You solved your mystery, and Graven, you paid for it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, good.
What were you going to say, Graven?
I said, yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually excited for because people have only gotten a taste of where you're going next, but I'm excited to see what you guys cook up, because that's a story. I'm not going to take credit for what Graven does next. That's something he and somebody else cooked up together, and I'm excited just to kind of help them bring it to fruition. Which is the thing. If people pitch me a storyline, I try to run with it if I can make it work.
We might actually be recording something this weekend.
I'm stoked to see it.
3 days off, so.
Oh yeah, like everything that went down, especially the last couple of weeks. Oh, I have ideas.
But yeah, it's a fresh start for a lot of people, because OmniGeek's been in this investigation forever. That's off his plate. Same with APS. Like Graven, Jagger, and all the other guys, they have their own things to do. Like the cartel's potential civil war is gonna, like, what the fuck's happening there? Nobody knows. I'm excited. I'm very excited. I still need a break, but I'm very excited.
Yeah, that's true, CJ.
Yeah.
Guys, anything? Bosco, anything? Last thing with the guys, or?
No, I think I'm good. Any parting words for either one of you?
Stay tuned.
There we go. Stay tuned. Perfect.
Thank you,
I know
guys.
that line. Bye, guys.
And we got, speaking of Jagger, we got CJ in the chat going, Jagger is going to be pissed, but Jagger has to deal with Kathgina before he can get down to...
Get the Gemini. Yeah, because Jagger's like, wait, you took my shit? You made us look... Fuck! But that's the brilliance of it. Everybody's tied up with other stuff. Like, you have to go after that. Artemis is going to probably help you. Graven's got something to do because he's poisoned because of the whole... It's like it's a mess, and Gemini just sneaks in the back door.
Yeah. Well, yeah, great story stuff, and it's going to be fascinating to see. So, you said you had to take off.
I do. Is there any last-second things you want to ask me or things you're curious about? Because I'll be back next week, and we can do it again in character. But...
Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously next week will be the actual discussion in character with the clips and all the great stuff. So, yeah, I'd say before full wrap-up with you, any last thing you want to tell the members of our community who are hanging out?
Thank you guys for being, like, first of all, like, your attendance doubled. So thank you for everybody who tuned in early and late to Firing Line. It's an awesome show. You guys should check this out on a weekly basis, because if you miss the shows, it's a tremendous recap, and you get to hear a lot of in-character stuff and analysis, which I love. I love the idea of us having our own ESPN show. It's great. I adore it. But thank you guys, because the show doesn't happen without people to put it on for. So I know you say that Zacho and Arkov and myself and Caliban and Offkey and Tim do a lot of work behind the scenes and during the show. We do it because there's such a great community. It wouldn't be the same without you guys. So you guys deserve as much of the credit as any of us do. So thank you for tuning in, and thank you for dedicating quite literally hours of your life to this thing every single week, sometimes for 2+ shows.
Yeah. Real quick, Carla's asking, do you have any questions for her for the books before you take off?
No, just let me know if you have any questions, if you were confused about finishes or how to be scored. So, for example, the 6-man tag with Jack, I thought it was clear, but just in case, the Simon, Bulldog, and DeLuna won because that's why they get the announce, because it was technically he was the third man. If there's anything weird like that you're confused about, let me know.
Okay. And I think, I mean, I think everyone, I feel I'm speaking for everyone. You know, you put a lot of effort in, and I just want to. I think every once in a while wants to appreciate, because I know, because I talk to you behind the scenes a lot. I know how much energy you put into it. I know how sometimes it is a thankless effort, and I just want to make sure for at least once you get thanks for putting on all this insane effort.
And I do appreciate it. And like I said, I had a lot of help. The show wouldn't have happened without Arkov or Zako. It wouldn't. They did most of the recording. I took some of the bigger, like some of the crazy shit, like war games where I had to use tricks. That's what I took, and that's what I focused on top of like also running both of the shows, because it was rough, because it's a lot of work. But you guys are worth it. Like you tune in again, you give of your hours of your life every single week. It's worth it.
All right. Well, thank you very much, sir. And we will. I know we'll talk to you later. I may be talking to you tomorrow night, depending on.
We'll keep bringing some more of these awesome people in, because you've got another hour to talk to them.
I plan to.
And I'm going to come back and watch the VOD, so don't say anything mean about me.
Yeah, sure. No, I mean, no more than usual.
Oh, thanks. All right, guys, have a good one. Be nice to each other. Also, shout out to Henry Colt, who sneakily came back, by the way, too. A lot of big returns, and Colt kind of flew under the radar.
Yeah.
But I was happy about that one.
Well, and we're going to bring in, when you leave, we're going to bring in Travis, because we also want to talk about those hype videos he made for us.
Oh, the hype videos were great. Him and Sawyer did great work.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Later.
All right, guys, take it easy.
Take it easy.
Bye. Speaking of which, let's bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Travis A. Carey, who is Hey, Travis. Actually, before I hype you, I'm going to actually say hello. Make sure your mic works. Hey, Travis.
Hello there.
There we go. Can hear you. Wait, let's make sure I got you. Don't know if you guys know this, but sometimes on Discord we have to boost Travis because, otherwise his powerful voice will do weird things. All right.
I mean, I could try and use my booth mic, but I'm sitting in a fucking sweat box already. I don't want to sit in the one.
No, you're good.
No, it's okay. I boosted you on the Discord. We're good. All right. So for everyone, of course, this is Travis. Travis, what's the current count? How many voices?
Currently, as of Ginger Boy, 10, maybe 11. I don't know how Carnival counts.
That's a really good point. So yeah, you do about 10, 11 voices of characters in the community. And how many people do you just help with the putting together of their promos?
I don't have enough hands.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Were you the child voice in the latest Unkley that I listened to today?
No, that's Unkley. You can hear in his tones. That's him doing the voice.
Okay, but because you usually help him at least do some production work on those promos, right?
The only one I ever did production work on recently was the one where we collabed together. He brought his voice in, but I did the editing, and he did the script work for the firing of Max.
Okay. But the other thing, of course, we turned to, and this year we leaned in heavily. You did these great hype videos for Multivania this year.
Oh boy, did I!
So, all right. So as we had mentioned earlier, we had the idea for the kickoff shows about 6 weeks before Multivania, where it's like, what can we do? And I swear to God, I don't remember which one of us had the idea. It was either me or Tim or Offkey, because we were having a meeting together. It's like, and somehow the idea of kickoff show hit. And then one of the things is, well, if we're going to have a kickoff show, we're going to have a hype video. And I was like, Bosco, we're going to need a hype video. It's like, well, obviously you're going to need to talk to Travis. That's true.
All right, who's messaging Travis?
Yeah, I almost immediately got in DMs with Travis. Said, hey, we want to do this thing. And
oh boy.
Yeah, and that was because we had to get you assets, and it wasn't just. I mean, I got you some stuff. I think Tim got you some stuff. No, Rosso actually. It was Rosso, right?
So let me put it this way. I am an abysmal caveman when it comes to understanding how capturing streams and shit like that works. I had no idea what Streamlabs was, and so I was just downloading the whole VODs, and then I would just sort them out one by one. So an extra few hours on the end of each day, I would just sit down and rewatch the entire show and catch the clips I like. And then our Sawyer, like a metallic genius, comes down and he goes, we have Streamlabs, right? And I'm like, what is this thing? And so he showed me that. So a huge shout out to R. Sawyer for showing me how to do that. And now I went back and I went through all the MNW archive on the YouTube, and I looked up as much as I could of this year's or of this Multivania's year for content. It was a blast. I'm glad that it turned out the way it did. I liked them, and I'm sorry if anybody didn't get the moment they wanted. I tried to get as many. I think the one that I genuinely feel bad about is Graven, because I tried to get a picture of Graven, but all I could do with him, like, without the rope covering his face, it was just sad Graven. And so there's a picture of sad Graven at the end of the video, and I'm like, oh, well, there's my sad Graven.
I'm sure, knowing Graven, I'm sure he's happy because he'll just say, I wasn't sad, I was pissed. I know that they got great reaction on the kickoff show.
Yeah.
We played them a few times because they were great. Okay, I need to rest my voice and we need to strategize our next moment. So, or in one case, okay, guys, so we have to go an extra hour because there were technical difficulties. So let's throw on these videos and figure out what the heck we're going to do. And we kicked off the kickoff show with them because it just made a good. Oh, we're going to start the show. I don't want to just start the show with, "Hi guys, it's us." Let's get the adrenaline pumping.
It was a fucking blast to see them pop off, and everybody liked them.
Yeah, no, it was fun to play them. What about your actual Multivania moment? I mean, you had your big match this year.
I'll say this much: I am 2-0 at Multivania. Let's keep that streak going for next year. But in all honesty, this year's Multivania, it was definitely different than I was expecting. I did not think I was going to be confronting Unkley and not even just Unkley, just Unkley and the lawyer. Those were, I was like, all right, well, this is who I'm going into Multivania with my fist up against. And it was fun. I genuinely, I don't know, I think you were in the chat or in the voice chat with me, but I was pretty focused. I was like, all right, I don't want to lose this, but if I do, then so be it. But I had a blast. It was a really fun time.
That's good. And I guess it's going to be interesting because you, of course, they had the whole story with Unkley Dunk and then the swerve at the end. And now Unkley is the Nexus Titan champion. But
I just want to say just one thing on that. For next week's firing line, I hope you go along with what I'm about to do. That's all I'm going to say to that.
I mean, we're usually pretty amenable. I mean, here's the thing. Usually we're amenable. The question is, will the showrunners go along with what you do? But, we have some influence. We're not without pull. Not a lot, but a little.
It's fine. It's fine. It was a really, really fun night. And I'll be, I'm biased. It was one of my favorite matches to watch. Not only did I have a really good bout with everybody, I was hoping to get all 4 pins. I didn't get all 4, but I was counting in the chat, like, come on, there's 3. I want 4. Give me 3. And then Cheese got him. Like, all right, I'll take it.
I mean, it's Cheese.
I mean, exactly. That's why he's one of the goodest boys.
So, I guess because you do so many voices of so many characters. I mean, you do have a little bit of a stake or, I guess, empathy for some of the guys who you voice. I mean, I'm thinking Carnival, I'm thinking Wilson. How do you feel when those guys are having their moments? I mean, VIP has that future title shot now at the Trios, and Carnival has a shot at the tag belts in the future. How do you feel about those things?
Well, to be honest with you, I kind of put in the idea that I'm happy for the person who owns the character, and I'm happy to be able to bring a character to life. I don't know how much Paul Wilson had before I started voicing him, but I really liked bringing that character to life, and Wilson's writing is levels beyond mine when it comes to promo writing, and I was just kind of happy to take a part of that. And anytime that they go off and win a title or go and do something or complete a chapter of their story, part of me is like, absolutely, that's a little bit of me there. But at the same time, also like, yeah, I am so glad for this person winning. That's really cool.
Cool. So I guess with that, well, the other thing, you've got a new tag partner.
I do, Unga Bunga. And to be honest with you, I've never really had a tag partner before, so I didn't really know how to do the whole tag partner thing. And Goat has gone in headfirst into this far more than I ever did. You know, she is fucking phenomenal at role-playing with everybody and getting everybody involved. There's now an entire army of sandwich wars happening in the chat, and I'm just like, all right, you know, just start throwing fucking sandwiches. I'm staying over here.
Fair enough. All right, so any last things before we rotate in our next person?
I look forward to picking up some other roles for some other characters, and I have fun, so thanks for having me, everybody.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Travis.
Thank you.
So, Tim, here's what I want to do right now.
Okay.
I need to take a quick break. So I'm going to dip out, and I'm going to let you choose who you bring in next.
Oh, no.
You don't like that plan?
No, not really.
Okay, well. So I bring in somebody, and then you talk to them for a few minutes? Here, you know what? I got an idea. Because I do need to take a quick break. Usually about this time, I take a quick break by playing the call out.
Yeah.
I don't have a call out right now. So what I do have, how about if I bring in Shadow Dancer Bob and the two of you discuss like Storyteller and Dr. Grimm stuff?
Sure. I mean, I'm down.
All right. How about that? How do you feel about that, Bob?
Do what now? There was a lot going on.
I need to step away for a couple minutes.
Oh, dude, I can vamp for you. No problem.
Okay, yeah. So if you and Tim could vamp for me, I'll be back in a few.
Oh, heck yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, he proposed the idea of us talking about the relationship between Grimm and Storyteller.
Oh boy, that is a long story.
Yeah.
One of my favorite bits about Storyteller and Grimm is how every time they do a promo with each other, they're playing this single game of chess in their heads. And every promo they do, they always have another piece for each other.
Well, and the idea was that level of forethought was the common bond that they shared. It's like, obviously, mad scientist, Storyteller, but they both had this appreciation for looking ahead of things.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of where the connection was between the two. It's like, you know, and that they kind of exercised that through the chess.
Mm-hmm. And I absolutely adore the relationship that Storyteller and Grimm have. They, granted, you know, we got tossed together above game. We got tossed together whenever it came to the order, but that was very interesting because after the order started, you know, we started talking, and it actually took notice that you know, we started talking, we started, you know, getting along with each other after the order started, and that relationship only started growing. And Storyteller went from this minion character to Grimm to an actual partner. And I love that character development in between the two.
Well, and it was because of course my screen name Storyteller's Apprentice, and for the longest time that was the name of the character. And I think at some point Kurt had the idea of him kind of progressing beyond the apprenticeship, and basically that was seen as it was kind of like seeing the apprenticeship being too grim. Like, he was Storyteller's apprentice and he was the apprentice to Grim. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of got to the point where Grim started seeing him more as an equal, and that's where we started transitioning to just the Storyteller.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, the Storyteller is not the apprentice. Well, the name, the Storyteller's Apprentice, he's not the apprentice to Grim. There was, in fact, and I don't know if you want to go into this or not, but there was a Storyteller before the Storyteller's Apprentice.
Yeah. Well, and this kind of came, and I think this all started around the Inquisition period. Mm-hmm. Because the idea that I had done was obviously, and it worked because I ended up with, being in a faction with a Sith Lord, but it was very much a rule of two kind of thing with the Storytellers concept. So that, I was the Storyteller's Apprentice who was, worked under that. And basically the concept was that, for whatever reason, my mentor was not around. Maybe I did it, maybe somebody else did it, but but what also we worked with was the idea that the Storyteller's Apprentice was familiar with, if not the actual Inquisition, he was familiar with these kind of people. Mm-hmm. And that led to him kind of going, look, I know what kind of trouble these guys are. I'm in the same boat as Grim, where it's like, you know what? We're just going to be pragmatic. We're going to use this to our advantage. Mm-hmm. And not try and fight it.
Yeah, because Grim in canon has knowledge about the Inquisition before the Inquisition came in. Like, Taka has stated that Grim knows exactly who the Inquisition was. So when they came up, it makes sense that they would show up at time.
Yeah.
But that relationship between Storyteller and Grim is so phenomenal, especially a little piece of information that not a lot of people know. Storyteller and Grim actually made a deal at the creation of the Order on why the Storyteller joined Grim in the Order.
Well, and yeah, that's the big thing with that relationship with Grim and Storyteller is that, while, yes, we are saying that, yes, there is some camaraderie there between Grim and Storyteller, they're very largely pragmatic people. So this whole thing has been largely just an agreement between the two. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, they obviously it's, bonded over, common interests and whatever, but they're also very much, this is convenient. This is serving a purpose. And at some point, it's not going to serve a purpose. But, it's a fascinating relationship, I think.
And I think at that point, when it no longer serves a purpose, that's the point that I think that Grim and Storyteller are going to drift apart, but they're going to remain allies, because I believe that both you and I know things that are going behind the scenes that the rest of the community doesn't need to know right now. Specifically revolving around the Faces of Fear situation, the Murder Cave situation, and everything like that. But I really dig everything that's going on, and I look forward to seeing what happens specifically with the further progression of the Storyteller Grim storyline, especially given the fact that Storyteller is kind of in limbo at the moment with the Faces of Fear and the Murder Cave, and nobody knows what's going on. Also, welcome back, Caliban.
Thank you. Mrs. Caliban says hi.
Ah, greetings and salutations to her as well. I hope things are going well with her.
She is. She's actually enjoying school.
Wonderful.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in and vamping and talking behind the scenes stuff. And like we were saying when you were on before, maybe one day we can do the grim Caliban storyline that everyone's been wanting since the day Dr. Caliban appeared.
There's so many people that I want to work with in the community that I haven't been able to due to Grimm's kind of Undertaker-like seasonal showings.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can't wait for the Caliban storyline. I can't wait for further progression with the Storyteller storyline. There's so many things I want to do with Grimm. But apart from his usual schemes and plots and plans, and I can't wait for the shoe to drop on his current schemes.
Yeah.
All right.
Maniacal laugh. Maniacal laugh.
Maniacal laugh. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you later.
See you in a bit.
Man.
Right. Well, I think I know who I want to bring in now. There's a couple. Okay, we got a couple people. All right, help me here. Should I bring in, because I kind of want to bring in JMP and I kind of want to bring in Helix Sucks. Suppose I could do both. I can split the difference.
Yeah.
No, because we're getting towards the last half hour of the show.
Yeah, about 30 minutes.
That's so we can bring both of them in. Hello, gentlemen.
Hi, hello.
Hello there.
So now we have a. Let's see. We have Death himself. And we have Mr.
Clearly not a vampire.
Clearly not a vampire in the bank.
Hey.
Trust in the bank.
Hey, that's a face.
hey, it's a thing.
Mm.
So
first.
So Helix. So
yes.
You had you're 5-0.
Yeah.
5-0 at Multivania. It is now officially a streak. Because apparently you did not have enough Undertaker illusions in your character.
Yes, clearly not enough. Not enough.
That's where you are now. So I know, and I even question. It's like, well, wait a minute, what does this mean? And I think all it means is you won a match at Multivania, but you and Ramund are still on Flashbang.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm led to believe. That you just went in there just because there were some asses that needed kicking.
Yeah, well, I was basically, I suppose I can reveal it at this point. I was given a choice by Bosco.
Mm-hmm.
And of the choices I was given, I was like, I think this particular match, the one I ended up being the surprise tag team in, was going to give the biggest pop versus the other choices he gave me. I would have to go back to our messages. But that to me personally, given the situation that was currently happening over on Warzone with the Murder Crave and whole dissolving of the Faces of Fear, Four Horsemen, or whatever, I thought it would be the best way to have him used and, keep Bosco's sanity.
I mean, that does it. There's a certain cabal of us that is an underlying goal.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
And JMP,
yes,
you had a good Multivania, I would say. And actually, you know what? Not just your faction had a really good Multivania when you think about it. I mean, you have the money in the bank, and Carnival and Lady Boots have an upcoming title shot for the tag titles against the Toxic Wastelanders.
Yeah, they do.
At this point, I'd say, and that's you're sitting in a good position.
We are, and it's just been a crazy few years how me and Boots have been watching this show. I know she got in right from the get go, but I didn't show up until March of 2018, and then my first match ever in a over the top battle royal, and I was immediately eliminated before the bell was done ringing.
I mean,
sure, but the tables have turned.
Yeah, but you know what? That match you came into is, I think, at this point considered a legendary match because that was the introductory match for you.
Burnout,
Zacko,
I think.
Popo.
Blue
Dandy was in that match.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who some of the other newbies in that match were. Of course, Arkolf, but Arkolf was always in newbie matches because he was the gatekeeper.
Yep.
But we were amongst that bunch that there was a whole third batch of folks coming in, and ever since then it was I had my downs during that whole year, and then just slowly back up in 2020, and then it just it kind of slowly rise up as I kept going into the year, and we're now back in a dominant position for my faction.
Yeah, and you have, because you got that briefcase, Mega Money in the Big Bank, which of course almost automatically gives you a storyline with Zacko.
It really does, because I could definitely see how my vision right now is that I can definitely see where I can go with the belt and with the briefcase. I won't say it will not be something immediately. It's something okay, I have to tease this, and I can go either separate ways. Between not just the Multiverse heavyweight title, but also the Flashbang title as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna go by the ear on this one and see where we're gonna go.
Yeah, you're in a position where you can coast along, see where the story goes. I guess there's always that pick. I think a lot of people were looking closely because of what happened last year with Jake and the immediate cash in, and that got subverted because, there was a cash in, but it was Unkley going for the Nexus.
It was Unkley Dog who was cashing on Vince Smoke, and not me on anybody else.
So that just means you're this looming threat in the background. But it'll be interesting to see where it goes.
I think 2 back-to-back main title cash-ins would have been a little.
It would have been unpredictable, and that would have been fun. It's more fun when someone who has done it before to try to get a major sneak in, and not do it immediately. Do it when the time is right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of like how I did with the Nexus title when I had the original Money in the Bank.
Yeah, considering there was 2 briefcases this year, I think the better choice was the mid-card title.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed to be a better fit.
And it was more of a swerve.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
and that one made sense story-wise.
Yeah, that's the thing that Bosco looks for in everything, is to keep everybody on their toes and not, make everything very readable.
I've been loving long-term storytelling. It's crazy how I got things that happened to me when I first started MNW that it could probably bring back up now, and it could just there you go, whoever's there from the beginning, boom, there you go, everybody knows a little bit of the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Helix, let's turn to you for a second, because at this point I think you're in a position, because you've been in MNW so long and you've been part of major factions, you've held big belts. I guess you're hitting this. You're definitely have the elder statesman vibe, and especially
yeah, a little bit
on Flashbang, where it is a majority of later generation characters that populate it. They're established now after 2 years. But you've got the legacy. But I guess the question is, and I don't know what you've got planned with Bosco. I'm not going to hesitate. But where do you see your character going now that the storylines sit where they sit?
I think, unless I'm told otherwise by the 2 showrunners, is that for the time being, I'm probably going to stick on Flashbang for a little while at least, because I only had a very long storyline with the Empire, and then just a brief stint with Nero, and then we just hit Multivania. So I think I definitely have more stories to tell that I can do with on Flashbang before, if a new draft may send me back to Warzone or whatever circumstance that may be the case. So I think for the time being, I can definitely still do more things on Flashbang and maybe try to help some of the younger guys or the newer guys, establish themselves and, create compelling storylines. That's what I'm hoping for.
All right, sounds great.
Gatekeeper.
I mean, we did lose Arkoff, who was but here's the thing: Arkoff was never a very active character on Flashbang. He was just sort of there, doing things in the background. Whereas Helix, I think, has been much more. Although, I think it's another case of Helix is a character who, it's kind of like Grim at this stage. You can work great in small doses. Helix sucks every week. Starts becoming, oh God, whereas Helix sucks once a month becomes, oh dear God.
Yeah, I think that's the position I got myself in because, I've already done pretty much everything. So I might as well just be that, looming guy in the background that can definitely make a splash if need be.
I do kind of like the idea that Helix sucks music hits and whoever's opponent is well, I done fucked up.
I mean, that's my biggest mark out is like just this past Multivania when Bosco was building it up. Wait, there's a fourth team? Who could it be?
I was thinking like, okay, you were not in the war games, you were not in this. Oh God, why? Oh, it makes sense.
As soon as I just get hyped up every time I hear the gong, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it works so well.
I love that mixed theme.
All right. Well, guys, we're gonna. There's a few people I think still we need to give a shot in here. So thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
thanks for having us.
All right, talk to you later.
Yep, bye.
Later.
All right, and I do need to catch up on some bits and subs here real fast. So I want to thank Lasume for, and these happened a while ago, but I want to catch on them for giving tier 1 subs to Shadow Dancer Bob and Joe Mojo. Also for the 100 bits where he's saying sorry about the technical problems. Not sure what happened. Everything was working before. Discord is crazy right now. We had last week we tried a couple times to get Hartley in here, and it just didn't work. Somebody said something that Samsung may be having issues with Discord right now.
Well, what I was hearing was it seems that the problem is predominantly on mobile and on Samsung phones. I think is the thing there. So it's yeah.
All right. So let's see who we got left. We haven't brought on yet. I want to give some fair time. You know what? All right. Here's one I want. I'm going to do a couple of these. I think they're going to be short because I'm also keeping an eye on time. But she came in special, and hopefully her thing. I'm going to give her a second to catch up. Hopefully her mic's going to work. But hey, I'm waiting to see if she. Hey, Carla. Give a second to see if we can hear her. Again, I don't know if Carla is your mic working. I can hear you, but you're super quiet.
I don't know if there's any way to adjust myself. Can you turn me up?
Hang on, I want to see if I can jack the. Okay, try talking again.
All right. Can you hear me now?
I can hear. So even jacked up, you're going to really faint. So we're going to try really hard not to talk over you. Real quick, everyone, this is Carla. She holds two roles, very important. One, she is the player behind Electroman, but also she is the official bookkeeper for MNW, and by that I mean she keeps the stat books that we use here extensively, that Tim and I specifically use, A, for putting Firing Line together, but B, proves invaluable in the putting information together for the YouTube videos.
Since November 2019. Can you hear me now?
Yep, can hear you pretty good. Yeah, I think
so that's good.
You're audible. Yeah, since November. So I know a lot of people say, "Oh, didn't that person win a showcase before?" Guys, we only count from November from 2019 because that's when we have information.
Yeah, sorry.
So with that, yeah. So Carla does a lot because literally I have on my Stream Deck I have a button that just says book that I press and it brings up the share we have where I can pull the books because it's like, oh, and this is how we keep straight things like, okay, who won what matches. We can go back and we can look at things, and it lets us put Firing Line together, and it lets us. Let's put it this way. We could do it without the books, but it would be a lot harder.
Yep.
So, just on
Well,
behalf
and that's
of...
something that people don't know is that when me and Caliban started this, we used to keep our own notes. We used to have a group text document that we'd both sit there and write up our notes for whatever. And slowly but surely, we just was like, we really don't need to do this anymore. Carla does all the books.
Yeah, we started. Well, we realized we were depending more on the books than our own notes.
Yeah.
And at that point, we're like, we're just going to stop doing this. So, Carla, thank you for getting those notes.
No worries.
And also, you were part of the day 2 kickoff show you were on the day 1 kickoff show. I take that back. You were the
I checked the VOD for that.
Yeah, you were part of the tag team. You were the Flashbang tag team entrant for the 4-team tag extravaganza for a future title shot. So now. You were on Multivania last year, though, right? You did have a match?
Yes, last year I was against, I think it was Electro Man versus Hutchcale. Wait, it was a tag team match. It was against the Cartel.
Okay.
Because I have the archives, I know it.
Right. So this is your second Multivania. You're in there. And it's been a good year. I'd say it's been a good year for Electro Reality.
Yeah, we've been really built up because, as most people said, we started off as jobbers, but then I kind of asked Ed, what's our direction in the last town hall? And he says, chasing the tag titles. So, it's a slow journey, and congrats to Mad World for winning that. They're a very deserving team, even though sometimes I give them a bit of shit in the promos. It's just for a bit of fun, and yeah.
So, with that, because you got, I have to assume that, like Tim and I, you have an interesting view of this whole thing since you have to pay attention not just to your own matches, but the entire show.
Yeah, I'm more the external party. I focus more on that.
So what would you say coming into Multivania, not counting your own storyline, what do you what was the thing you were paying the most attention to coming in this year?
Well, because I don't focus so much on wrestling, I focus on story, creativity, so anything that can make the show a bit more, poppy and buzzy. I really loved the dance-off. I'm like, how the heck are they going to execute a dance-off? Is it a match? No. I noticed he just played entrances, the sequencing. Mm-hmm. And that's how they gave Donkey Kane... Look, I'm not trying to be mean, but I call it a cheat win because it's not a match. So he still needs to win a match, but congratulations for his first win.
Yeah. All right, yeah. There's Multivania, there's always what's going to be the weird match this year?
Yeah, and also War Games. I liked that one as well because that was most hype, so from a hype point of view. And then, which one's going to leave? We had absolutely no idea. And the tag teams kept going out interchangeably, the opposite got eliminated one after the other, so that was interesting.
So what do you? Because I'm keeping an eye on the time, and I still have a few people I have to cycle in here.
No worries.
Yeah, what are you looking forward to now? Now that we're past Multivania and we're moving into the new season of MNW, what are you most looking forward to?
Well, I was also looking to see what was happening with the draft, so I'm looking forward to seeing what's happening with the drafted characters on each show, maybe what they're new or built on existing storylines going to be. With my team, how are we going to work to the titles, or is it a different storyline? Just basically the new storylines that are emerging from all this mess, as you said. How are they going to clean up the mess?
Sure, it's true. Yeah. There's a lot of that. All right. Well, Carla, again, thank you very much. And as I said early, on behalf of Tim and myself, thank you so much for all the behind-the-scenes work you do. It really does help make things run more smoothly.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, just a few more days. The graphics are really heavy, but should be done for next week. And thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, community. Bye.
All right. So here's what I think I want to do. I'm just going to... From a show perspective, I'm going to bring in some of the Warzone folk who've been sitting around waiting for a chance. So let's bring in this person. Let's bring in this person. And is there any other Warzone folks we have not brought in yet? Help me here, Tim. I know we've got Wand. I swear to God, I cannot remember who Juan's character is. WAND.
She's on the Maelstrom. She's got Jaunt.
Okay, so she's not actually got an MNW character at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that as well as trying to figure, because we do have the established rule that this is for roster folks only tonight. So,
oh, gotcha.
Okay. All right. I just wanted, because I didn't want to leave them standing there, and it's just because I couldn't remember anything.
Oh,
anyway,
no, that's understandable.
Anyway, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we are now joined by Rapture New Road himself, Cryptic, and by the Sparrow herself, Cyberpunk Sparrow. All right. Hello. So how were your well, let's start. I'm going to actually start with Sparrow. Cyberpunk, how was your Multivania this year?
Well, this is my first Multivania. This is Sparrow's first Multivania. And I gotta say it was a real treat. I didn't know what to expect. I was just happy to be in a match. And yeah, it was cool to see him there, much less get to be in the top 2 and face the illustrious Bart Ender. I couldn't have asked for more, honestly.
And Cryptic, so this is all right, you've been around for a while. How many Multivanias is this for you?
I think this is Rapture's second one. Like the second one that he had gotten featured in.
Okay.
You know, my memory's probably foggier than anyone else's.
All right, fair enough. But how'd you feel about Rapture this year in Multivania?
He did a lot better than I expected him to, but I was really excited for everything in the show. Like I'm amazed that he did as well as he did, and I'm glad that he got to fight Sparrow and Bart Ender the way that he had done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what a match.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously that was a huge match, 8-man contendership for the Big Oof. Kind of impressed to see that Bart held onto the belt. Not a bad thing. I think it's a good boost for his character. The nice thing about a match like that is it doesn't actually damage the other characters in the process. So you both still have places to go. So let's ask where now that you're done with Multivania, that we're moving into the next chapter. Now, obviously, we're waiting to hear when Warzone is coming back full time. But once that happens, what do you want to see happening with your characters? Cryptic, why don't you go ahead and start this time?
From what I've seen, where we've seen in the past, Rapture has done a few things. He's either gone after Lucy, and he's also gone after VIP.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'd be fine with continuing either of those two feuds, but I think Lucy is less likely since looks like Kurt and Bosco have kind of snuffed out the character or have been featuring other people over Lucius Constantine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually interested in maybe in Rapture putting other characters over, in the Go Home show, Rapture and Carcharodon had tag teamed, and I found it funny that he had immediately gone after Carcharodon in that 8-man elimination match.
So you'd like to put over Carcharodon, is what you're kind of saying right now, or things like that?
Yeah. Or at least chase a different title than the Big Oof, because it just seems like he's fixated, and I'm not sure, and it's just become a joke in the Discord. I don't mind the joke, but I do want to see him do something different.
Fair enough. And Sparrow, what do you want to see for yourself, either solo or as part of the Sentinels?
It's really hard to say. A lot of that's going to be dependent on where Warzone goes and where the Sentinels go. It's been a fantastic run being part of Daver's tag team. I feel incredibly lucky that he's been able to, hang out with the big guys like Daver and his amazing storylines that he's had so far. As of right now, he's still a sidekick. He's still pretty raw in a lot of ways. He hasn't really changed too much as a character since he's debuted. I'm kind of at the point where I'm just sort of thinking about where he's going to go next. And to be perfectly honest, I'm still pondering it. I'm seeking feedback from the community members in the future, I think, at this point. But yeah, I'm just excited to see what other story threads there could be. I'm excited to see what's going on with the new characters that we brought in. There's sort of like a newer generation even than like mine, for example, or like Forrest, who sort of debuted at the same time as me, and like Carcharodon and Sergeant Payne or Major Payne and a whole and Unga Bunga. It's just I love seeing them flourish, right? Yeah, no, exactly. I love seeing those guys flourish. So like if I could do more with them, if I could do more with anyone else, I'd just be thrilled.
All right. Okay, well, we're getting to where we got to cycle in one more group of folks. So thank you both very much, and we'll talk to y'all later.
All right.
Okay.
Sound good? Thanks.
All right, thank you. All right, and so I'm going to bring in. We got 3 guys we haven't talked to yet, 2 of which are linked. One of which I don't know if his phone's going to work, but it's also let's close out the night bringing in some Flashbang guys.
Oh, so Hartley got on his computer. Let's see if you can get it to work.
Okay, all right, Hartley. Because I know you sent me the thing earlier. You're the information I was using. Wait a minute, did I bring in? I did bring in the right guys, right?
No, well, you brought in Bulldog.
I brought in Bulldog. I wanted to bring in Bulldog.
Yeah, it's Bulldog and me and Michael.
Okay, no, I got you guys. You're the right guys.
Yeah.
For some reason, the thing was looking. Oh, I know what it is. For some reason, my tired brain, Bulldog's icon, for some reason, looked a little bit like Johan's.
See, now Joe's gonna be angry at you.
Yeah, I'm just tired. I was like, did I bring in Joe? My mistake. No, I don't think I did. Okay, my brain. It's okay, guys. I will admit I'm a little tired.
I don't blame you.
We did a lot, and the brain might still be a little smooth. So actually, Bulldog, let's do a mic check on Bulldog.
Hello.
All right, good. He works. All right. So first off, all right, Bulldog, I'm going to start with you because we had the other 2 guys in here already.
Sure.
So tell me your side of the whole honored thing.
So, funny enough, it actually goes all the way back to the beginning of Flashbang. I had the idea of wanting to bring in a couple other guys and starting a group called The Pack.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a fun idea, but I never brought it up to Bosco until about January of this year. And he said, cool, that's awesome. And since DeLuna and I were already a thing, I thought I'd share it with him. And he said, funny enough, I should bring you over here. And he basically told me what he and Simon were doing and said, oh, that's awesome. Can I get in on that? Lo and behold, we joined together. And I'm kind of curious whether or not Simon and DeLuna sent a message over to Bosco at the similar time about all this, and then here's my message, and in his mind is like, oh, this is going to be good.
I mean, things happen. All I know is we now have your catchphrase: the good, the bad, the Bulldog.
Really?
Yeah, we said that earlier.
Simon's the bad?
Guys, yes. We got a character who's been a heel. We got a character who's been a face, and we got Bulldog. And that's gonna be interesting to see where that. From what Bosco said, it's gonna be essentially a face-ish faction, but willing to
anti-heroes,
willing
pretty
to do
much.
some shit. So,
oh yeah,
yeah,
vigilante shit.
All right, so now let's talk about Doom. So you retain the trios. So I think we all know where this is going, but This has been an interesting. I kind of wish Phil could have been around for this because would have been nice to get his take as well. But all right, you've had a year. I mean, you've got obviously Hartley, Michael joined the faction this year, and that's been a good fit. So just tell me how you felt about the trajectory of your characters, and how you felt about your Multivania experience.
So originally, I thought the Warzone trios qualifier was going to be Saturday, and then we were going to we were double booked, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. But I get if you wanted to put them on twice Multivania, but then it makes sense now considering it's VIP who won.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very weird being here now, where it's like I've gone from Blazaricus has gone, the Night Reaper, whatever you want to call him, has gone from like nothing essentially, another Taker clone, whatever you want to call him, to the Sleep Demon, which he is now, and now he's a Trios champion. And all I'm like, as for the character, I'm beginning to realize what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
More specifically, in his promos, I want to actually go the route of making them not bedtime stories, but dreams. It's just the inherent problem with what dreams are make it very difficult. Because there's always that surrealness to dreams where everything is right, but not exactly. So say there were to be a dream in MNW, Zacho, you have Zacho, R. Sawyer, and Malice, but you'd have like V1 R. Sawyer, you'd have Zacho back when he was green, and you'd have Malice hasn't changed look-wise, but he'd be like slightly thinner. It just there's little differences in dreams versus reality that you don't it's very hard to translate into a promo.
Right. And so let's talk about and then there's Michael Macabre.
Mm-hmm.
And
newbie.
Yeah, but so I've been under impression, tell me if I'm wrong, but Hartley, was it essentially Michael that came up with the Click Doomsday catchphrase that is now the entire group's catchphrase?
Actually, that was Ed.
Was Ed, okay.
When initially when Doom invaded Warzone, and he added that Click Doomsday to the surprise, I started integrating that to my promo, and then home VIP. I'm like, hey, how do you feel about using it at the end? And everybody jumped on train with it.
Okay. So I guess now, you still got the trios belt. We've got the next match will be happening. You know who you're going to be facing. So how do you feel, Hartley, with your character's trajectory? What do you want to see next for Michael and for Doom?
I'm more along the line of right.
Okay,
I got Jack. Okay, right in there.
You're roboting.
He's breaking up.
Yeah, Hartley, you're kind of breaking up on us. Sorry.
Damn.
Yeah, but that's okay. We'll. I mean, we got you here. You had a good weekend. You both made Multivania history. This, and let's face it, you guys have made a great impact with how the characters have been presented and mesh them into a really good faction. So you know what? Let's just take the fact that right now you're at the top of the game.
Of the trios game.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next. Thing is, we are coming up on time, so I'm going to go ahead and thank you, gentlemen.
No problem.
And we'll talk to you all in the future.
Bye.
Later. In the future, guys.
And
guys.
With that, yeah, we're at about our normal time there, Tim. So Tim,
we are.
Let's finish. Important question, Tim. How did you feel about your Multivania experience? Obviously, you had a much different experience than most people.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, obviously, my Multivania experience was almost entirely behind the scenes, except for when we're doing this, and our pre-show. But yeah, no, it was good. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was obviously a lot of work, and we're both still recovering. But yeah.
Yeah, and we're trying to get through this. We have so much work. We're still working on getting next week's show together, doing stuff for the YouTube. Yeah, I knew going in that it was going to be a lot of work. and
Sure.
that it was going to be, I kind of made a deal with my wife of, I'm going to be completely absorbed by Multivania during the weekend, which is why this next weekend she gets dibs on my time. She, with the exception of a plan that Tim and I have briefly on Sunday, she gets dibs on my entire weekend. But it was definitely worth it. And again, off key lime. I don't think we can underplay the amount of work he did. He created his own commentary character for this.
Yep,
We now have
Spencer Getty.
Spencer Getty, who is the in-character guy who runs the MNW YouTube channel. We kind of play him. What was it? He said Spencer Getty is the Todd Pettengill of MNW. Yeah. He is the guy who will be doing a promo. Will be doing an interview with somebody, and the person he's interviewing is going to talk over him and then take the microphone away from him and push him off camera. So that's what we got there. So I guess with that, in wrap up, what I'll say is this. Multivania is what we talk about every year. It's our big show of the year. It's what we as a community get hyped for. And everyone kind of talks about Multivania. It's always in the background and it's always in the thoughts. And there's a reason why last year's Nexus that so many of the awards revolved around what happened at Multivania. So when we gear up for this year's Nexus, I'd say everyone, hey, remember what happened, because it's probably going to be a lot of what we're talking about again.
Yep.
But as Ed said as he was heading out, this would not work if we did not have a community. And if we did not have an engaged community. So to everyone who is part of the MNW family, thank you. We all appreciate you. And, we're going to stick through it and, get in for another crazy year. And here on Firing Line, same thing. We appreciate everything.
Yeah.
It's, it's a lot of work, but it's always worth it, especially when it drives things and helps this community maintain. So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, just real quick, that one of the kind of surprise benefits for us with the pre-show, we ended up having matches that actually fed story that ran on our pre-show. So,
yeah, Tim and I had our first crack at commentating. Actual commentary. Although I did notice during our commentary, wow, our firing line habits were strong.
Yep.
Where I try to talk about moves, which I don't know the moves great, but we're talking about story, which I think is fine as a color guy. All right, everyone. So with that, reminder, there is my picture. Can everyone still hear my mic?
Yeah, you just went green screen on me.
That's weird. Hang on, let's see if I can fix that. No, nope, my camera. I don't know what's. That's interesting. All right. Well, you know what? There's my icon. Tomorrow night, there is going to be no show of MNW. Bosco is taking the night off, and
damn it, Burnout, we're wrapping up.
Yeah, draining us during the wrap up, Burnout. And anyway, I'm gonna try one other thing here. Hang on. Yeah, we're going to have to figure out why my camera has gone foobar there, Tim.
Yeah, that's it.
That's going to be an issue for my streaming, but I'll figure it out. Anyway, in the meantime, it probably just needs a reboot.
Yeah.
All right, what I was saying. No MNW tomorrow night. Bosco, if he's feeling up to it, will do an AEW like he usually does on Tuesday because he didn't do one this week. Maybe, but... and then Saturday, when he wakes up, he will make the call if he wants to do a dark show or not. So there might be some chill MNW on Saturday, but tomorrow night, do not expect a show. And if there is a show, it's not going to be MNW content. We will be back next Thursday at our regular time with the actual in-character recap of Multivania. And, of course, I'm not going to show the rest of our streams tonight because tonight's all about MNW, and I want to keep it all about MNW.
Indeed.
So you can join us here next week for that show. And but otherwise, thank you all very much. We appreciate you, and we hope you have a good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the Multiverse Nexus Wrestling YouTube channel. If you like this video, go ahead and drop a like, share the video, subscribe to the channel for more, and ring that bell to get notified whenever we post a new video. This has been Joe, signing out.